So yeah. Watching some H3 podcast.
Whoa, this music cut out.
Yeah.
What is this, Rudy Giuliani's podcast?
Right. What the hell?
What up, everybody? Got a great one today.
That's right.
That's right, brother. I gotta tell you, I'm close to drop.
All domestic
Right,
terrorists.
that's true. You know, we always talk about how well these conservatives monetize with the slot buckets and the,
Yeah.
I don't know, the nootropics.
Gold,
Right.
Iraqi dinar, cryptocurrencies that immediately are just a rug pull.
So I'm close to finally making my own product.
You're gonna make your own slot
I've
bucket.
been thinking, you know, Alex Jones, he's got everything. I'm close to dropping my own.
Hell yeah, brother. Let's poison the youth.
Consumable. Made by Ethan, not yet approved by the FDA, but it will be. Right? I'm not going to say what it is, but you guys tried it.
Yeah, we did.
Should I just say what it is?
No, I would wait.
I don't know.
But
I'm passionate about it.
This is purely an Ethan endeavor, man. Like this man.
You're making
the
you're
lab.
making a meme bucket.
It's almost, no, it's not a slot bucket. It's a real product. It's a passion project.
So
He's this crazy Israeli clown comedian.
Shut the fuck up. I'm being serious, Jordan.
God, Jordan's coming after you.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to say it.
Say it.
I'm making, today I'm here to announce
What is he
that I'm
making?
closing in on the final formulation here today at slotbucket.com/Ethan on a product I like to call Movement, which is essentially a ripoff of Metamucil.
What? I don't even know what Metamucil is.
Most people under 60 don't.
What is a Metamucil?
It's a powder you take that helps
poop?
digestion. It's made of
Oh, it's for
cellulose.
shitting. It's for like. It's literally for. Dude, you should take less of that. Actually,
I don't think anyone's ever recommended that.
you should take less. Whatever, because I'm looking at it right now.
Psyllium husk. No, it tightens your shit. Or
It's a fiber. It's a fiber supplement.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely should take less of
I
that,
think so.
bro. You literally. What do you
Maybe-
mean? You
maybe it-
shit breaks for like 15 minutes.
But for me, I'm passionate about it, and I'll tell you why. It's because psyllium husk like that has been proven to
I'm shitting my pants.
lower cholesterol, to lower blood sugar spikes, to fill you up.
Yeah, I mean it's fiber. It's fiber. It makes sense. I
It's
take
more than
fiber.
fiber.
I take fiber supplements, or I used to take fiber supplements.
Movement.
I love fiber supplements. I used to take fiber
And you're gonna love
supplements.
this
I
one.
still do sometimes when I
You get
am
constipated?
no, but I eat a lot of greens.
Okay.
I eat a salad pretty much every meal, like with a
Every
shitload
meal?
of protein on it.
Jeez.
So it doesn't really matter to me. But I still take like Smart Sweets, which are fiber gummies. They're gummies, but with a lot of fiber in them.
Gummies
yeah.
with fiber? Oh, please. You should be kissing my butthole because the amount of eye shit actually just shows it works. I got the golden butthole.
I mean, I have a really good shitting schedule.
Nice and tight.
It's firm. It's perfect. Like
Same every day?
It's the same every day. It's at
Wow.
the same time every day, and depending
Not
on
very
how
girthy.
Tight. Nice.
depending on how much I eat. Like if I overeat,
Yeah.
if I don't eat the same thing, if I overeat, then like I'll usually go to the bathroom twice or maybe even sometimes 3 times in the
3
morning.
times.
Like 3 separate
In the morning. All in the morning.
all in the morning, and then we're good to go.
Yeah, my BMs have never been. I can never get them on a schedule, man. They're just chaos. It's just chaos.
Well, I think it's because your body's a machine, Ethan.
Thank you.
And not just like, no, I didn't mean like your body specifically.
That's how I heard it.
Just, I meant in general, your body is a machine, and So your input and your output are going to be relatively stable for that reason, right? Like if you eat crazy, if you eat like different shit all the time at different times, and you know you have big meals, small meals, all that sort of stuff, then your movement internally is going to reflect that.
Sure.
I did a terrible job of describing that.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not hearing it. You know what I mean? Just not right. I'm not hearing it.
Science is gay.
That's kind of where I.
That's also true though. unless you're doing like bro science, which is gym related. In which case it's very straight.
Listen, we got to kind of cut to the chase here. Great to see you, Sean. Thanks for being here in our $20 gajillion bunker.
Great to be here.
Today we're having a call-in from the great, esteemed Professor Richard Wolf. Yes. Oh, you calling the Wolf?
Yeah.
Yes, we're calling the Wolf.
Dick Wolf, famously, his side project is Law and Order series,
Great work.
Is really
Love
cool.
His work.
I hope you guys have a bunch of Law and Order questions because we
That's
do.
actually all I put in the doc. I have so many questions about Stabler and Munch.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, why do you do so much propaganda? Like, if you're a Marxist.
Okay,
all
hold
that
on,
stuff.
guys.
Richard Belzer, the goat.
Guys, I got to keep it on the rails because he's calling in at 10:45. That's 15 minutes, and we only have him for an hour.
Yeah.
So we got 15 minutes here to show some good shit. Okay.
I'd like to point out I'm very excited to hang with Dick. To hang Dick. He is. I mean, he's very important for a lot of the most annoying people online that were like, I'm gonna graduate from looking at socialism memes to like learn a little bit about it. So like his lectures are available on YouTube all over. But all jokes aside, I think he's great. He's a very good communicator of Marxist
Awesome.
concepts. So
Well,
I am excited to talk to him.
Actually, I think it's a good idea to use this 15 minutes here to intro him a little bit, so we don't have to waste time when he's on
Well,
the phone.
before we do that, how about you had my boy on yesterday?
Oh yeah,
Bryce.
Me and Bryce are dogs.
He's such a nice guy,
Yeah, he's
right?
a sweet guy. We had a good time.
I know him. Look, this year or this past year for me, Bryce and Mike as well, Big Mike.
Yeah, Mike's a good guy
Two people
too.
that I like would have never thought I would ever like talk to, never thought I would be friends with, never thought they were douchebags, you know, from afar. Judged a book by its cover, and I was wrong.
You know, Bryce he's an interesting guy. There's a
Bradley
lot.
Martin too, actually.
Yeah, well, Bradley's a sweetheart. I had a feeling he would, he comes off as a sweetie pie. But Bryce, to me, he's a young man, but he's been through a lot. He grew up without a father. He was bullied in high school, like severely. He told me he used to eat his lunch in a stall by himself. Apparently, a few of these losers also did that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Not me. I have friends.
That's crazy. That's a thing that I went to high school in Turkey, so I don't know.
He said, no, it shocked me too. I'd never heard of it. He said he used to go into every day during lunch and eat in the stall by himself.
I wasn't exactly popping in high school. Like, I don't know how to describe my experiences in high school through the lens of an American high school, but I'll just say it like this. I drew so much. That's all I did. Every class, I would just sit there and draw.
Do you ever draw titties and jerk off to them?
Yes, I have done that.
I've never done that, but I've heard from friends who did that.
Okay, listen. First of all, porn is banned. Porn is banned in Turkey. What do you want me to do?
Did you ever draw one that was like really good, so you saved it for later? Or did you start new?
No, because I was always really bad. I would draw.
Master.
I used to be so good at drawing like fucking big burly dudes from video games and like animes and shit.
Right.
So whenever I tried to draw women, it like the perspective was off.
Okay.
Like they were more titty than person.
Right. Well,
So-
that is kind of anime.
Yeah, and I kind of failed at it a little bit. But I guess I wasn't horny enough to like get better at it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Bryce did this really incredible thing for me. Ryan Kavanaugh's bestie, Brad the Bull, the guy who rails his ex-wife,
You
called
know
in.
so much about this dude's
He
life.
called in, bro, and the minute he saw my face, he was like, fuck me, bro. He was so upset. And Ryan Kavanaugh also called in during the show. He answered it. I heard his voice, and he's like, yo, I'm on the show. I'm live right now. I can't talk. He's like, okay, call me back. But that would all happen Live.
So you're besties with him, and you're stealing him from Ryan.
That's what I think Ryan's going to perceive it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I like Bryce. I think he's nice. He's a nice kid.
Yeah, he's awesome. It was a good time. Yeah. And so as we're on the heels of the precipice of the wolf call, here's the video that I saw on TikTok that made me wonder, who was this guy?
This is one of
Because I'm so fucking tired of seeing Jordan Peter's pseudo intellectualism, and it's hard. Like, he keeps going on like neo-Marxist
postmodernist.
Yeah,
Neo-Marxist post-modernist. So neo is new communist after wait, post is after, right? After World War II, I guess. After World War II, Europe's economy was left in shambles. An estimated millions of people were left homeless. This made communism seem more appealing and easier to spread in East Europe. East Europe almost all became communist because of the facts above, as well as how close they were to Russia. Okay.
Neo-Marxism, postmodern is like, bitch, I know that the dummies that watch your shit don't have any idea what you're talking about, and I'm pretty sure you don't have any idea what you're...
Postmodernism. What is modern? Modernist. Refers to a global movement in society and culture that from the early decades of the 20th century sought a new alignment with the experience and values of modern industrial life.
talk about. So
Yes.
Richard Wolff, that's his specialty, is economics and specifically like Marxism, right?
Yes.
Are you talking about Richard Wolff?
Yes.
Sorry, I was literally opening up a new Google Doc, so I have before I forget, like I was trying to write down some of the questions that I have for him.
Okay.
That I have collected in my mind. Apologies for that. Richard Wolff is a famous Marxian economist. Obviously, there aren't that many of them out there, which is...
They've all been hunted.
Well, no, literally. I mean, McCarthyism is like a big part of why this is like a very contentious subject, even though it shouldn't be.
He's Luke Skywalker.
We'll get into a little bit, but like you'll see a lot more Marxists or some kind of socialist in other departments. Usually sociology, maybe philosophy. Not necessarily so in philosophy, but rarely ever in the economy side of things, because the economics departments and the finance departments have a neoclassical economics stronghold. So they consider anything beyond that, like the furthest, I guess, quote unquote, left you'll go in neoclassical economics is Keynesian economics.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, it's considered like unorthodox, not real, magic, alchemy. You know what I mean?
Well,
So that is, I think, the unique part of this
He's highly tenured. I mean, he was a economics professor at Yale.
Yeah.
He has a crazy
And the
pedigree.
game was over,
Anyway,
and
here
the
he
player
is,
woke up from the
reacting
dream.
to some
And the
of
player began a
Jordan's
new
absolute
dream. And the
nonsense.
player dreamed again.
This is one of the
Dreamed
things that's so
better.
great about the way
And the
the
player
Americans set
was
up
the
their
universe.
political
And the
system.
player was love.
Because
You
Through
are
the
the
magic
player.
of the
Wake
internet,
up.
it is possible for me to respond to some things that were said by a Canadian psychologist by the name of Jordan Peterson, who teaches at the University
I love that.
of
I
Toronto.
love that he had to
I'm not
preface
gonna-
this by like only through the magic of
Yeah.
the internet. Yeah, it's called a duet, Professor.
talking about the psychology he teaches or that he preaches, because that's not my area of expertise, just as it's clear that Marxism is not his. However, he has made statements about Marxism, despite not knowing very much about it, as is evident from what he says. These have included daring Marxists to debate with him, just for the record, anytime, anywhere, as long as we can work out the details. No problem at this end.
By the way, an aside, 4 years ago, they were supposed to debate, Jordan and Professor Wolf,
Yeah.
and then Jordan bitched out and demanded $50,000 from a small university philosophy department to host the debate after it had already been arranged.
So that's
He's a
actually not
coward.
surprising
He
because
is a giant coward.
no, here's what
China.
they do.
China.
Right-wing commentators do this all the time, and in most circumstances, it's not like the Young Republicans Club that actually has that kind of money, but it's actually donors of the university, alumni that are right-wing and want Ben Shapiro to go to that college to, educate the youth, that will facilitate that. They
They'll
will
actually
usually
pay him.
like that speaker's fee is actually on the lower end, from what I understand.
50?
Yes. Now, obviously, this was many years ago, so I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
He might have been suggesting that simply to duck out, like the coward that he
I
is.
guess I could see it both ways. But you're right in that, like, Ben Shapiro's not going to fucking go out of the kindness of his heart and talk to some kids.
No, these guys don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not a
That
not a
is
thing.
interesting. So we don't
Damn, it
get those
was even
fat, juicy
slower.
checks here on the left. Not that I would have anything to tell a university, but he certainly would.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've ever been invited to a college campus or anything like that, I've always done it for free. There's no, I've never, I guess with the exception of Politicon, which was debates, I've never gotten paid for a speaking engagement.
That's it. And that's what I expect, right? It's almost like a community service. You're going to talk to the kids.
Yeah, but for the right, it's actually, and not even just the right, like Hillary Clinton makes a lot of money doing this, like politicians
Well, that
do it.
makes sense in a way.
Yeah, it's just like,
So anyway,
Hillary Clinton doesn't have anything going on that's worth $750,000 for one speaker.
no.
Like, what the fuck?
But what's funny is that Jordan challenged him to a debate. He accepted, and then he bitched out and said, I need $50K. But anyway, here it is.
So what is it that's wrong with what Mr. Peterson has to say about Marxism? Well, it's partly that he's recycling old Cold War stuff. The Cold War was over in 1989. Most of us have moved on around the
Yeah.
world. Mr. Peterson seems to be stuck. And he's stuck with one of the oldest kinds of arguments imaginable, telling us that we should not be interested in Marxism. In fact, it's kind of immoral, in his words, to be interested in Marxism in view of what Stalin did in
Fuck.
Soviet Russia. Well,
Fuck.
okay, Stalin did terrible things in Soviet Russia. However, Marxism exists in every country on the face of the earth. It's been going on for 150 years, and a lot more than what happened in Russia under Stalin over a period of 15 or 20 years has to be taken into account if you're going to make an assessment of Marxism. To use the one example that is really horrible over there as the judgment on Marxism would be about the same sense as saying Christianity should be dismissed because of the Catholic Inquisition or the destruction of the Native American population by Christians, or the Holocaust against Jews, gays, and so forth by Christians in Germany, and on and on and on. 2 world wars by capitalist Christian countries fighting each other might all qualify for the kinds of argument Mr. Peterson makes. We don't make those kinds of arguments because they make no sense, and Mr. Peterson oughtn't to do that with Marxism. The only other thing to say is he seems to reduce Marxism, when he actually talks about it, to the problem of inequality, that some people are rich and others are poor, and he deals with that by the very sophisticated notion that poor people's anger at rich is their envy of the success. This is an insult to those folks who are critical of inequality, but apparently Mr. Peterson doesn't worry about that. So let's respond. Inequality is indeed a social problem, but it has nothing particularly to do with Marxism. People have been talking about the problem of inequality for thousands of years before there ever was a Karl Marx or a Marxism. The whole point of Marxism was to explain why inequality under capitalism didn't go away. And let's remind everybody, capitalism comes into the world in the French and American revolutions talking about being better than feudalism, because under capitalism, you see, we are free, we are equal, we are democratic, and all the rest of it. Capitalism was to bring, in the words of the French Revolution, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Well, as you know, and I know, and even Mr. Peterson must know, we have capitalism, we sure do, but we don't have freedom, equality, and fraternity, not even close. Mr. Peterson's own speech is an indication of that. So the Marxists have always said, why is that? Why do we not have the equality that capitalism
The average
promised?
person types about 40 words per minute, but it's actually possible to double that. Here are some tips that will help you muscle typing your back posture and muffled feet flat on your wrists. For hand placement, your fingers should fall flat of the home row. Move your nearest finger either up or down. In order to limit finger gymnastics, your pinky should be in charge of pressing the shift key and your thumbs are responsible for the spacebar. Next, what's any words that come to your mind? Don't worry too much about the speed, focus on limiting typos. If it's too difficult not to look at your hands, you can purchase a blank keyboard or keyboard cover. Another option is to activate an on-screen keyboard as a guide so you're not tempted to peek. To do this, go to the search bar and type in Keyboard Show Great Way to Practice. Check out the description box below. Touch typing, you're ready to
I'm just really slow.
The answer is in the analysis of capitalism, the way in which capitalism organizes society with employers and employees, the kind of parallel to lords and serfs and masters and slaves, such that the employees produce the wealth that the capitalists get into their hands, thereby becoming wealthier while the mass of the working people are excluded from the very surplus their creativity puts on this earth. In other words, there's an explanation. If Mr. Peterson understood that, his critique of capitalism might address that explanation.
Okay,
Instead,
pause it for a second.
it acts as though there is no explanation.
So,
Wolfpack.
so you watched a fucking 5-minute TikTok video?
Yeah, dude, I watched this whole thing.
That's insane,
and I
dog.
was like, this guy fucking rules, dude.
Okay,
Just
TikTok.
shows how good he is.
And
5 minutes on TikTok is entirely too long.
And-
I will be the first to say it.
I'm gonna disagree with you. I've been watching longer TikTok videos, and I like.
Actually, I have too, cause like I use TikTok when I'm pooping.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
that's a good spot for it.
it's actually great when like there's like a 5-minute one, so you can just like let it run, and then not have to touch your phone.
Right. But I find myself like when it was a
This is
minute,
one of
I'm
the
like,
things
I
that's
want more of this. When it's like a dude cutting a cow's hoof or something, which is my favorite right now. And you
That's
want,
what you've been watching a lot.
bro? Have you seen those farriers?
I have watched them before. Yeah.
They dig out like absence from the
Yeah.
cow's hoof and shit. It's so fucking.
Didn't I have this
satisfying.
conversation with you where I said I've done that to a horse, and I've never cut the hoofs, but like cleaning the hoof is
I
like a
think you-
This is
pretty
one of the things that's so
pretty basic part of like working on a ranch or just having
Right. Yes,
or
you did
by
say
riding.
that. Right. I guess we've had this
And
conversation.
then you said that that's not the same. You're
You're
that's
not
not
a
the same.
farrier.
No, I'm not. I've never actually shaved a hoof or anything like that.
Then what?
but-
So what's the point of even saying it?
Because I've cleaned out the hoof though. Like
You clean out the hoof. That's just a stick. You just take out
Not a
mud
stick.
from the horseshoe.
not a stick.
These guys are like
You
surgeons.
still clean like I've. Yeah, you're right.
It's just yeah.
I polish it. You know what I mean? Like I've done all that. I've done hoof maintenance.
Half my
And groom,
Okay,
but-
okay, hoof maintenance. So anyway, he's the man.
Don't take this away from me.
Well, listen,
You're just jealous because you've never touched a hoof.
that's
dog.
like me standing in front of
No, it's cool, man. You've never touched a hoof.
Listen,
It's fine.
I mean, I respect what you do, but I'm not gonna stand in front of like the Mona Lisa and be like, I could do that.
Okay, what? That's not you.
Hey, these guys are masters.
It really goes to show how you feel about the
They're
the
fucking
hoof repair.
doctors, bro. They are awesome.
They're they're doing the Mona Lisa every time.
Good. Yeah, so I've prepared a bunch of clips. I kind of want to get his take on. He's the man. I got
Dude,
one.
what
I
the
got a
hell?
bunch from Jordan. I got some from Dennis Prager, my man. Should we ask about the incest one? Should we cue that up?
What's your argument?
I mean, I have a lot of questions for
Here's
him.
his son riding a horse as a young lad.
I have a lot of questions for it. That is
Oh,
literally.
man.
I thought you were gonna do a meme. No, that's actually me.
Bro,
It's-
this is so.
yeah, I won. I won that tournament. Yeah. Yeah, I got a ribbon.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to say it, but
Glow up.
gay.
Oh. Yeah, I used to. The funniest part about that is I used to hate. I used to hate dressing like that because, like, especially when you're young, it's like the worst. But you have to. You have to wear a blazer. You have to wear a suit with a tie and everything. I used to hate dressing up like that, and now
become gay.
now I do it on my own volition. I wear tight tights when I'm working out every day, like compression pants.
So, did you own a horse?
Yeah.
Your family rich or some shit?
Yeah, my family used to be. Yeah, I've talked about this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a generational curse.
Oh, okay. We
There's
did
a
know that,
generational
apparently.
curse in both sides of my family.
They
where-
lost it all.
Yes,
used the wrong
they
finger
always
for that.
remember.
they always make a lot of money. Like they have historically always made a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
and then literally went bankrupt. By the time their next of kin reaches college age, which is literally what happened to
May
me.
I ask you,
And what?
are you afraid that you're going to fall to the same curse?
Maybe. I mean, I am not.
Better
I'm not
watch
like
it.
them. They're both my grandfather
Hey.
and my dad were like. Well, my dad made a lot of like risky. Like he just was doing like futures trading and shit, which is so stupid. And my grandfather was just like more so kind of a baller in the sense that he had like one big. He had like one big court case, I think, where he got like a lot of real estate. This is my grandfather, who's been dead for many, many years. And then he just basically sold all of those properties and then lived off the money for the rest of his life.
You hear that music?
What is that?
That's the curse music.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The third is coming. How would you lose all your money, I wonder?
Both,
How would Hassan go broke?
I don't know. I fucking get like Omega canceled or something.
Canceled?
Yeah, so much so that like I can no longer continue to make content. But even then, like I don't know.
Yeah. The question is, will you be able to afford your children a horse? That's kind of the status that we're going for.
I will
Horse
not
money?
do that. I will not do that for my children anyway. Because like honestly, I low key kind of hated it when I was
Okay,
growing
so
up.
there
It
you
was
go.
more
Fuck
like
it.
I wanted to play basketball, but my parent like this was something that they wanted me to do.
Wow,
So,
you could have been a whole different world. You playing basketball.
yeah, I mean, I ended up playing basketball as well because my horse
It's
died.
so weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
what do you do with the horse when it dies?
I don't know. I probably glue factory, right?
Or
Isn't that what they
you make
do?
it? Do you eat it?
No,
Jerky?
no, no.
It's just such a big animal. You know, you got to. What do you do with
There's
it?
a lot of meat. I don't know.
I use
think
my
I'll
index
bury
finger for the
her, I
P's.
guess. I don't know.
R.
I actually don't know.
Okay, so we're run out of time. I wanted
I'm
to talk.
so glad that we.
I wanted to talk at least about Rudy Giuliani pulling up a. Is he in the chat, Dan?
Yeah.
So then let's
He's standing by.
do it. We'll do it afterwards.
Yeah, we'll have time after.
Yeah, we'll have time afterwards. So
All right, let me get it set up. 1 sec.
let's not waste our.
Wait, AB has some facts on this.
All horses, when they die, must be disposed of immediately with very few exceptions, and they must be delivered to a premise approved for proper collection and disposal. What happens if they're not? It says they must be disposed immediately, like they're going to raise again.
Your dynasty gets cursed, going broke.
Oh, shit.
Generation after generation. How do you think it happened to Hassan?
Yep. Yeah, but for real, why is it like so? They're like, yo, you better kill it. You got to get rid of that fast.
Honestly, the more I think about the generational curse thing, the more I'm like, they all lived awesome lives. Like my grandparents and my dad, who's still alive, they're fine. So I don't even mind it if that were to happen to me.
Professor, hello. Can you see and hear
Hello.
us?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
I type even
You know,
slower
I have to
now
say
with all
I'm,
that bullshit.
I'm a new fan of yours. I found your content on TikTok. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm glad you got in there before the people who want to shut it down to take it away.
Okay, that's interesting. What do you think about the TikTok shutdown? That's kind of a good.
That's a
question for
good
you.
way to start. But
Yeah.
Professor Wolf, watch out. He's a liberal. The man you're speaking to, he's saying he likes your videos, but he's a big business owner and a liberal. I'm just letting you know.
Okay, well, I'm suitably forewarned. I shall be terribly careful.
Okay, yes. I'll have you know I'm stealing your labor right now.
He's
All right.
He's an open-minded
Very
one
good.
though. He is an open-minded liberal.
Yeah. So what do you actually? I find the whole pursuit to shut down TikTok a little bit, or it's all kind of bad faith, in my opinion. It all seems like a bunch of BS. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I understand why it's being done. I understand that many of the things that are happening in the economy, which is what I study, have to do with a rather desperate effort of the United States to reverse history. That doesn't usually work out real well, and I don't expect it's going to work out real well this time either. but it's a way for politicians to pander, and they don't usually miss a chance to doing that if it gives them some advantage.
Right.
Professor Orr, what would you say to people that are possibly speculating that this is an effort by big tech to basically use xenophobia to effectively shut out a market competitor that has been really dominant, a market competitor that is not obviously owned by Silicon Valley, that doesn't offer the same backdoors, even though it offers similar backdoors, I would suspect, but not the same ones that Silicon Valley tech giants would offer. People claim that this is done to erode competition.
Look, my experience over many, many years is that actions like this never have one or two causes. They are decisions that are made that meet a bunch of criteria, or if you like, respond to a variety of causes, any one of which wouldn't have been enough to make it happen, but it's the whole collection of them that make it happen. So yeah, one of the factors going into the TikTok decision was the convenient way you can have the government favor one competitor over others. It is often arranged by those other competitors to get rid of the one that they don't like or that they can all agree on getting rid of. And so that becomes part of the story. You could see that already, or this helps you figure it out, by going after the Huawei Corporation, which produced last year and the year before things that compete with American companies. So this was a convenient way, before the general onslaught against China really got going, to strike a blow, to get some support for sitting politicians from those who benefit by getting rid of Huawei. And same thing with TikTok.
It seems to me that all this kind of boogeyman threat about China harvesting our data seems kind of silly. I don't know. I'm not a technologist, but it just doesn't. I don't see how that is any bigger of a threat than anyone else who's harvesting our data. I mean, if China wanted data, they just buy it from Facebook.
Exactly. They would, like, it's probably
Plus,
cheaper for them to go through data
relies on muscle
brokers
memory
to like
to
operate
press the
servers.
correct
It's all there
When
already.
touch
So
typing,
I don't know. It seems a little bit,
your base for
or
navigation.
a lot of it,
blah,
bad
blah.
faith.
Are you familiar with the Resist bill? That's the Resist Act that's coming out in the aftermath of this this debacle in Congress?
No, tell me about it.
So there is now a, or not resist, sorry, restrict. I messed it up. The Restrict Act that is being promoted. There's a lot of speculation on what it could potentially do. There's vagueness surrounding it, but it's proposed legislation that was first introduced in the United States Senate on March 7th to authorize, get this, the Secretary of Commerce to review and prohibit certain transactions between persons in the United States and foreign adversaries. And the foreign adversaries list is, of course, the same villains, quote unquote, ranging from Iran to Venezuela to China and Russia, of course. And people are fearful that you can be fined up to $1 million and also with 20 years prison sentence for if they consider you to be doing something illegal, like utilizing, again, this is vague. They claim that it's not going to hit VPNs, but using VPNs, for example, or even using TikTok. This came after. This was directed towards TikTok.
If they ban TikTok, you can go to jail for using TikTok. That's
Technically.
Okay. You better start building prisons, boy.
Well, yeah. Well, that is a big.
Well,
that is a big
but
industry.
the interest, I'm glad you brought it up. The interesting thing about this is, from an economics point of view, it's kind of remarkable. I've lived all my life in the United States. I was born in Ohio and been working here all my life. And I grew up at a time when we were told in the economics courses I took in the universities where I've taught economics all my life, that an economy works best if it's private.
Whew.
And if the government doesn't enter in, do this, do that, regulate this,
Warming up
choose
with
one
all
company
cheese.
over
Did you notice
another.
that the
We were
warm-up
told
exercises
literally
use
that
also
this is
cheese
a
that you
bad
haven't
thing
learned yet?
to be avoided at all
That way your
costs.
fingers become
So
more
I think
accustomed
one
to pressing
important
all
thing
the
is
keys
to
on the
recognize
keyboard. When new
that
keys are
all
introduced,
of
you've
that
already had some
stuff
practice moving
has
fingers
been
up and
thrown
down
out the
on the
window
keyboard, and you'll
in the
learn them
last
fast.
5 or 10 years, just as if it were never spoken, as if it were never taught, even though it was the dominant ideological
I see that.
statement of what Western capitalism was all about.
Mm-hmm.
And you're now seeing, it used to be a phrase: the government should not choose winners and losers in the market. That was the kind of phrase that we were told. Well, what you're seeing at every turn is exactly the opposite. The government is choosing winners and losers, helping these industries, not those industries, saving this one, not the other one, forbidding this, allowing that. It's never stopping, and it's not a sign of confidence in your system. It's a sign of fear and retreat and danger and isolation. And now let me put on my economics hat. You know, it's not that list that you mentioned a minute ago: Iran, Russia, China. You better get out your pencil, because that list is becoming longer and longer and longer with each passing day.
What are they even
It
talking
used to
about? I haven't
be
even
Russia,
been paying
China,
attention.
and we would, have the usual socialist bad guys or communist bad guys. But now we have all kinds of societies. The important thing to remember is something called the BRICS, BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. We are isolating ourselves from them by pretending we are isolating them. But that's not the way it's working. The rest of the world is gathering around them, not us. And the make-believe that that's not the case is a dangerous form of self-delusion in the United States. Look, the war in Ukraine,
Learning the
whatever
home
else you
world.
think
The
of it,
remaining of this
was
lesson will
supposed to
focus on
be
using
over
the
in a
home world
short
keys.
time
You will
once the
begin by typing
sanctions
key
got going.
sequences and
They
then
were
move
called the
on to
mother
typing
of
full
all
words instead of
sanctions.
short
They
text.
would
As
bring
you
Russia to
complete
its
each
knees.
exercise,
Go
you will
back and
get
look at
better
the press
at typing
in
without
February,
looking
March,
at
and
the keyboard.
April
I'm
of
already,
last year.
I don't need to look at
That's
the
what they
keyboard
were
to
predicting.
type.
None of that has happened. None of it. And why? Because it turned out that Russia, which is a weak economic system and was before this war started, but Russia has really big and powerful friends, more of them each day. And they turned to those friends and they made a bad joke out of the mother of all sanctions, which hasn't stopped the war one iota. And adding more tanks and sending more shells isn't going to change that. These are more and more looking like the acts of people who took a really bad turn, cannot admit it, cannot face it, and keep doubling down in a way that makes the rest of the world shake their head. And more of us inside the United States scratching our head and wondering, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's really where people like me, now that's where we find ourselves.
What kind of policy is it that you would like to see in terms of like how America responded to the war in Ukraine instead of sanctions?
Sure. I think the best way is actually to remind everybody about American history, right? At a certain point, back in the 18th century, the people here in the United States decided that they were sick and tired of being a colony of Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
So we broke away from the British Empire. We did that by means of a violent revolution. We fought a war with England, 1776. We've all learned about it in school umpteen times. We know. And an amazing thing happened. The British Empire, which at that time ruled the world, the slogan in England at that time was, the sun never sets on the British Empire, because we've got the whole world covered, from India to Africa to, you know the story, okay? To the amazement of everybody, the British were defeated by the Americans in that Revolutionary War. But they didn't give up. In 1812, we had another war where the British Empire decided again to try to squash the new emerging economic power of the United States. 2 wars, they were defeated both times. Finally, the British got the memo. This not gonna work. You are not gonna undo the history that you yourself helped to make. So what you ought to do is sit down and work out
Now
with
you
the
get start
United
words using the
States,
home
this new
rulers. Yes.
get over your
Yes.
upset that your empire isn't growing anymore. Get over it. Recognize that your empire is now on the downturn, and that a new power is arising, namely the United States. And they worked out a peace agreement that lasted a century. Okay, you want my answer? That's what we ought to be doing with Russia and China. Not go to one little war, or not so little, one proxy war. Next we'll have a war that isn't a proxy war. You know, we're on the edge of it anyway almost every day. We'll do something in the South China Sea. We'll provoke one way or another, or we will be provoked. This is a dead end. It's not in our interest. It's not in their interest. We need to live with this new emerging economic power. We don't need to keep trying to squash it. It doesn't work. Every other empire, Greek, Roman, British, Persian, Ottoman, you go through them. They all had a ride up, then they plateaued, and then they went down. The last 100 years has been the American empire, especially after World War II. It was a great ride up for the U.S. It's going to be a bumpy, difficult ride down. And the sooner we face it, the better our judgments will be, and the better our policies will be, because where we are going, whether it's Ukraine or banning TikTok or hounding Huawei, these are things that are going to hurt the U.S. I keep trying to explain to people, when Saudi Arabia shifts its oil resources from the West to China and Russia, and this is a screaming signal. Even the people you thought were most dependent on you aren't anymore. And unless you're blind or blinded by some ideological reflex you ought to outgrow, you're going to be making one mistake after another, and people like you and me are going to be talking about them, even though we would wish we didn't have to.
And I
So
feel
your
like
answer is collaborative multipolarity, like leaning into that with all of the other hegemonic powers, or at least like superpowers that are growing at a rapid pace.
the propaganda, though, that I think a lot of people consume in America is that these countries are not willing to work with us. It's them that's putting up the roadblocks.
But they are working with us. We're working with them all day, every day. I mean, we would have no commerce without China.
Listen, let me give you a couple of just simple statistics. Throughout the entire anti-Chinese or China bashing or whatever you want to call it of the last 8 or 9 years, beginning at the end of Obama, right through the tariff and trade wars of Trump, and now the continuation under the neocons working with Biden. Throughout that time, the trade between the United States and China goes up every single year. There's a peculiar disconnect between, if you pardon me, the roaring bullshit from the politicians and the underlying reality that we need them. We need them to produce consumer goods. If the American people had not been able to buy cheap Chinese consumer goods over the last 30 years, they would have demanded and they would have gotten higher wages to pay what would have been the price if those things had been produced anywhere else. Capitalists in America are grateful, if they're honest, for the cheap Chinese goods that have made it possible for profits to go up without rising wages, because you could go to your neighborhood TJ Maxx store and buy inexpensive Chinese clothing, or to the other stores. You know, there is no Amazon, there is no Walmart without Chinese goods. If you plot the growth of Walmart and the growth of China, you discover something. It's the same business. The China can outproduce us on everything, but they could never have gotten into the American market unless Walmart, Target, and all the others acted eagerly to be the distributor of those Chinese goods and to make a fortune for themselves along the way. Those are the realities. The rest is make-believe. Nobody wants this war in Ukraine. Above all, the people of Ukraine, who are suffering beyond all words the destruction of their society. Who's benefiting out of this? I mean,
American weapons manufacturers.
Excuse me?
American weapons manufacturers are.
Yep. Yep.
It seems like those with the least to lose and the most to gain out of this are the ones that are pushing for it and pushing for the continuation of it, whether it be Boris Johnson back when he was the prime minister going into Ukraine during the first round of peace negotiations or a possible ceasefire and peace negotiation talks that were happening. Organized by Turkey, or whether it be, Ned Price and numerous other American State Department officials continuously talking about how they are not interested in peace at all. Obviously, there's an argument here about what Ukrainians want, and some will say that, the overwhelming majority of Ukrainians want to keep fighting this fight, but ultimately, we are not giving Ukrainians everything they want. It's not like we're, implementing Article 5. We're not even giving Ukrainians F-16s. We're not training them on that. We might down the line, I think, but so far, these are demands that they've made that we haven't conceded to. So, I think that pushing for peace negotiations on that front, with China and Russia at the other side of the table, with Ukraine and the United States of America on one side of the table, would be the quickest and most swift way to try to stop this conflict and further bloodshed from continuing.
Goodness gracious!
Well, I mean, let me just expand one dimension of that point.
I hate that so much.
We now have a defense budget, depending a little bit on how you look at it, in the neighborhood of $850 billion to $1 trillion. If you take a look, it's more money than the next 8 or 9 countries in the world combined spend on their military.
Warm-up.
We have just authorized an additional $100+ billion just for the war in Ukraine. Even if you believe that one motivation for the Ukraine war is the money being made by the defense industry, we already are doing more than anyone in their right mind could ask to provide them with a profitable business. Over $1 trillion. I don't even think they're that greedy. They're getting a big bundle with no opposition Nobody opposes the defense budget. I mean, a handful of people, but it's basically trivial. The two parties that run our politics are both eager to outdo one another in supporting the defense budget. They're in very good shape. They don't need another $100 billion war on top of the gift that this one represents. So for me, I don't think it's even them. I wouldn't mind criticizing them if I thought it, but I don't see. They've made a ton of money by all the stuff we've shipped to Ukraine, and all of that will have to be replaced. They will get the money and the profit out of that. The budget is huge, and it got a tremendous boost. Look, I'm an economist, and two things have happened in the last year that strike me as downright funny. We are in a supposed war against the inflation in our country. And to that end, we have a Federal Reserve, our central bank, that has raised interest rates. And that's supposed to slow down the spending by individuals and businesses because they can't, it's too expensive to borrow money at high interest rates, et cetera, et cetera. What's the worst thing you can do to an inflation? Pour money onto it. It's like squeezing kerosene on a campfire. It flares up. It's
why the hell are we sending so much money to Ukraine?
What have we just done?
Fuck Ukraine, let him die.
Just spent an extra $100 billion on a war in Ukraine. Most of that money goes right back into the American economy because it pays for the military one way or another. And Mr. Zelensky is not stupid. He understands he better spend that money back in the United States and not in some other country, because that will be the fastest way to cut that game over, number one. The second thing we did when our banks started to collapse a couple of weeks ago was to say that the Federal Reserve is going to come in and give any bank in trouble losing deposits, they can go to the Federal Reserve and borrow brand new money to replace the deposits. But let me explain to you. If the deposits go from a troubled bank to an untroubled bank, that's still money circulating in our economy. If the Federal Reserve backstops banks by pumping more money in, then you've got a bank crisis leading to more money and a war leading to more money. You're not slowing down the inflation that way, you're making it worse. What's my point? It's obvious. No one discusses it in this country. No one is saying, wait a minute, we got to think about the inflationary. If we propose to help the food stamp recipients for another 6 months, the issue of inflation would be raised.
Yeah, that's a moral hazard. It's only a moral hazard as it pertains to the working poor when you're helping the working poor. It's never a moral hazard when you're helping bankers get golden parachutes in the aftermath of the 2008 financial collapse. So what you're basically, just to make it a little bit easier to understand for our audience here, am I correct in stating that we have two methods of dealing with the inflation? We have monetary policy and fiscal policy. Fiscal policy conducted by the legislative branch, which is usually just completely powerless, with the exception of the bipartisanship that they always find when it comes down to more money for the military. And then the monetary policy is also one that you can use, and it's pretty much the only one that you can use, unfortunately, because there is no such deflationary fiscal policy that the Republicans or the Democrats will ever allow. So they're utilizing that, the control over the inflation by controlling the interest rates with the express purpose of depressing wages, kicking people out of jobs, with the hopes that, like, inevitably people will be, this tight labor market will turn back around, and you will have a labor force that's willing and able to take less pay for the same work.
Yeah, and again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but again, I'm astonished. I'm an economics professor. I'm astonished that the only way we are discussing as a nation dealing with the inflation is by raising interest rates. which will throw millions of people out of work. And everybody knows that.
False.
Which will probably hurt the poorest amongst us most, the last hired, the first fired, all of that again, worsening the disparities of our racial community, of our ethnic community, of the genders, and on and on. Really, we're going to go through that? I'm a professor. I learned that there are other methods of dealing with inflation.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that?
Do not involve raising interest rates. I'm mystified why I live in a country where the people in charge know what I just said, and they refuse to discuss it. We have a country in which raising interest rates is considered like the thing, the only thing, and all that's left for us to discuss is how many percentage points it'll go up or down, how soon. Let me drive it home in a personal way. But people seem to like this, so I'll tell you this story. I got my PhD in economics at Yale University. At the time I got it, it was almost all men who were students. Women didn't go into economics then. They do much more now, but they didn't then. So there were 2 or 3 women in my class, and we all got to know them because there were only 2 or 3 women in my class. And one of them, who took the same courses I did, in the same classroom I did, from the same professor I did, was a woman you've gotten to know. Her name is Janet Yellen. So I know what she knows. She knows what I know. We were schoolmates. We went to the same graduate program. In that program, we learned that one of the most interesting ways to stop an inflation that has been used in many countries at many times, often with great success, and that was used August 15th, 1971, by the sitting president, Richard M. Nixon. He got on television and he said to the American people, "We've got a terrible inflation. Here's how we're going to deal with it. As of right now, as he was speaking on radio and TV, any business that raises its price, we're going to come for you, we're going to arrest you, and you're going to jail. Any union or other worker organization that pushes or tries to push the wage up, we will do the same to you." This policy is called in this country a wage price freeze. In other countries, it's called an incomes policy because it freezes the income of the employer and the income of the employee at the same time, wherever it happens to stand. That was originally put into effect for 90 days. It was extended. It brought the inflation down. It is an alternative. It has its strengths and weaknesses, just like raising interest rates, but they're different. And an honest society trying to deal honestly with its problems would have a debate publicly about these alternatives. And by the way, there are others I could give you if you were interested. It's not the only 2. There's more than 2. But we live in a society that has a quick dismissal. If they even admit what I just explained to you, which is in every history book and can be verified in 10 minutes of Googling anything, there's no excuse for what's going on. Just like breezily dismissing the Ukraine war by saying the Russians and the Chinese don't offer to sit down and have a ceasefire. Both of those countries have done it. Maybe they're lying. Maybe they'd cop out once you started the process. But we're not in a very good position to call them bluffers if we haven't called the bluff. And if we're willing to sit down without conditions, why don't we say so? And I don't think you can use the argument about what the Ukrainians want, because here I'm not interested in criticizing Mr. Zelensky. But you should know, if you don't, that he has shut down opposition newspapers, opposition media, opposition politicians. He's fighting a war. Maybe you have to do that in war. But there is no way to know what the mass of the Ukrainian people feel unless you want to take the fact that somewhere between 6 and 7 million of them have left the country, and it's not that big a country, and that would not be a sign that you would want to make a big
Diddle
argument
Jesse.
about that this shows that they're in favor
Stop.
of
That's
fighting to the last
awful.
Ukrainian, since
Diddle
they've made
Jesse.
a choice not to be among those last Ukrainians
Oh.
that we're fighting for. So it does strike me as there's an awful lot of accumulated evidence that we're not dealing honestly and straightly with these major problems of our society, and that's usually the sign of a society that is scared shitless, if you pardon my Spanish, and therefore is functioning with a level of anxiety that is scary to watch.
Getting back to fiscal policy and monetary policy, you talked about some things that have demonstrably worked, like the Nixon price freeze. For contemporary America, for contemporary American society, do you have any suggestions on fiscal policy that would be deflationary? And can we even implement these policies?
Absolutely. The first policy that would be deflationary, and is long overdue, is raising taxes on corporations and the rich. If you want it very concrete, reverse the tax cuts that were passed in December of 2017. The biggest single economic act of recent history was that tax cut. That is what produced the $1 trillion deficits we've had ever since. We had deficits before. It's not that we didn't, but we took a quantum leap. And let me drive home. The 2017 tax cuts, benefiting mostly corporations and the rich, came at the end of a 30-year period, maybe even 40 years, of a dramatic boom in profits, of a dramatic increase in the inequality of wealth. Those were two arguments that said this was the last thing you needed to do. Corporations were rolling in money. That's why we had the greatest peacetime stock market boom in the 80s, 90s, and into the first decade of this century. They didn't need it. They shouldn't have got it. The people who deserved it were the ones who had come out on the short end of the stick over the 80s, 90s, and the first decade of this century. If you wanted to help someone, help them. But if you didn't want to help them, okay. But shoveling vast amounts of money into the hands of those who needed them least was an incredibly, if you pardon me, stupid. It was so greedy, it looked over beyond greed into downright stupid. And then to scratch your head and say, gee, we have terrible deficits. Well, what the hell did you think you'd get with a tax cut? It's like today saying, we have a shortage of labor. Hello, you just kicked out millions of immigrants. They were doing that work. What are you, surprised by the results of what you did? Were you born yesterday?
I wanted to ask about the. Go ahead.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I got some more questions, or at least
supposed to make me faster.
Your opinion on one of my suggestions. I think stock buybacks used to be considered market manipulation, and that consideration was correct in my opinion. It is market manipulation, and they used to be illegal until 1982. I think that one other immediate, not a full-blown solution, but one other immediate form of legislation could come by making stock buybacks illegal again, especially at a time when corporations are very clearly only beholden to their shareholders. Even the World Economic Forum and other capitalists are talking about how they need to find a new capitalism to a stakeholder focused solution to the economic problems. I think that's one other thing that we could absolutely be considering as well.
Yes, I agree with you, but I hate to throw water on your little campfire here. So I'm going to agree with you that stock buy, but they certainly are a market manipulation. That's why they're done. Their goal is to boost the price of the stock in the market. The company, by going in and being a major buyer, has the effect of driving up the price of the stock. If you remember that members of the board of directors of many companies, high executives in many companies, are paid with stock options and other kinds of stock remuneration, then you can see they have a personal interest and a personal gain by using the company's money to drive up the price of the shares they have. But here's the water I'm going to throw a little bit. Corporations understand what we're saying. The general public maybe not, but the people who run the larger corporations hire economists and accountants like me who explain this to them. And, you know, maybe not the first or third or ninth time, but by the 15th time we go over it, they kind of get it. And they can keep it in mind because it's their wallet. But they have developed over the years a whole host of strategies. And if you deny them this one, and I'm in favor of it, I agree with you, I would support it. But I've been around now, and I will tell you, they have dozens of other strategies that will accomplish more or less the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll give you one example, just so you get the flavor. Company A, a big multi-billion-dollar company, and Company B, another one. And they get together over golf or at the fanciest restaurant they can find, and they come to an agreement. Company A uses its profits to buy shares in Company B. That's not a stock buyback. And Company B uses its profits, you get the picture, to buy the stock of Company A. I've watched it, it's there, it's a strategy. And I could go on. And as long as we allow a tiny group of people, a board of directors, 15, 20 human beings sitting at the top of these mega corporations, as long as you give them the authority of disposing of the billions of dollars in profits, in revenues that they have at their disposal, you can't be surprised if they use it to enrich themselves. That's how the game of capitalism is organized. The rest of us are supposed to be spectators and go ooh and ah when they use the money to aggrandize, themselves or their companies. They really do have lovely shrubbery around their headquarters.
I want to say there's at a certain point, and kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, when, during a 40-year period of, huge profits, they give themselves another massive tax cut. It, like you said, it's stupid, but it's even worse than that. It's almost like self-defeating greed to the point where it's destabilizing society and it's going to end up eventually with their head on a pike, you know what I mean? Or their head in a fucking, goddamn...
Ethan is recognizing the contradictions, Professor Wolf. That's what's going on.
Or their head in a guillotine. So, how is it that they're not aware... They must be aware of where they're going, and at a certain point, I just don't understand why they don't acknowledge that I can be ultra rich, and also it's as important that we live in a stable society where someone's not going to, people are going to come eat me.
Okay. Let me answer it by telling you a story. Since I am a graduate of the fancy schools in this country, and have all the connections that those schools create for you when you go through them. The education you get, by the way, is quite mediocre, but the connections, they are super.
Yeah,
they're super. All right. I have therefore been at the following conversation. A group of people sitting on the boards of directors of the biggest corporations in America. Some of them talk like you just did. They say things like, well, I'll quote you, Warren Buffett will say to the public, I pay a lower rate of taxes on my billions than my secretary does on what we pay her. Remember, he said
Yeah.
that. He got
Yeah.
a lot of play. So he gets it. He gets it that it's stupid what they're doing. It's self-destructive what they're doing. And he appeals to the other directors like him to see what he's saying. And he's not the
I
only
am
one.
slow.
But the problem is, there's another group of directors who come right back at him and say the following: the mass of people in this country are too divided, too disorganized, and too ignorant to figure any of this
Welcome
out.
to our
Say that.
comfortable
They say that.
computing
They're
tutorial.
actually
And
In this
that.
tutorial, you'll learn the best way
malignant.
to cultivate
Yeah,
healthy
this is
typing
evil.
habits in order to
Well, you know,
increase
it's
your
very-
comfort
look,
and
if you
productivity.
keep
The following
sticking it,
slides
I'm going to defend
will
them now.
cover setting up your computer
But I'm only
station
answering your
properly,
question. I don't mean to
and body
defend it,
posture,
but I am going to
positioning,
defend
and
it.
some of the
Because
most
here's
common
where it goes.
ergonomic mistakes and how
Once
to
you
correct
once you
them.
get
So
over
sit
your
back, relax,
anger
and
that
take
you
notes.
talk like, think like that, which I
Okay, I'm
get,
sitting like that. The
you're
best
going to ask
position for
yourself,
touch
because you're a
typing
smart guy,
highlights. 5
why?
key areas.
I mean, you know,
Eats.
people aren't born that
Place
way.
them
Why
flat on the
would
floor with
they
your knees
think
bent
and talk
at
like that? And
about
here's
a
the
90
answer.
degree angle.
They
Eyes,
were
keep
Warren
them
Buffett's
about
in the
level with your
past.
screen, so
They
you are not
warned in
straining
their
to see the monitor.
company,
Computer
look,
screen
let's
should
not
be
go
a
so
comfortable
far.
arm's length
Let's
from
give the
your
workers a
body.
decent pay. Let's, pay our taxes.
Arms
Let's
are relaxed
spend some money to
at
make
your
the
sides,
city nicer
90
for people
degrees,
or whatever.
rest comfortably in
And
front of
they
your
got
keyboard
shot down
or on a wrist
by
rest.
the,
Okay.
let's call them, for lack of a better term, the conservative type, pro-business types. They got shot down, and the pro-business guys stuck it to the workers some more and evaded the taxes some more and didn't give a nickel to the community. And guess what? The profits of the company went up because there was no reaction. The local politicians didn't do anything. The people didn't get the pitchforks. They didn't march down Main Street with them. None of it. And so over time, they began to feel as though their, let's call it humane impulse, or whatever you want to call it, to be nice guys as employers was a mistake. Made them look like they were weak or in some way not as gung-ho to make a profit for the company as their fellow directors. They didn't want to take that kind of risk.
Right.
They didn't want that kind of reputation. They kind of swallowed their bad feeling. They stopped telling their wife about how they felt because the wife would notice that if you felt that way in the past, you're not feeling that way now. I don't hear you say anything about doing good for the community. You've got me sitting on the board of the local Y or the orchestra or the local charity, but you're not coming to the meetings and you're not even asking me anymore. So what you've got is a capitalist employer class whose majority thinks they can safely ignore the mass repercussions. Nothing will happen. The Republicans and the Democrats will distract people away from what we're doing to them economically. They'll get more interested in, I don't know, immigrants or in carrying a gun or whether transgender people can use the toilet. We don't have to worry about it.
That
And
makes
that's
sense.
the answer they give.
Sadly, that does make sense.
So what is the most effective mechanism of pushback in your opinion?
It's exactly what we were just talking about. Let me give you an example. As I'm speaking to you, in three countries of Europe is the answer. France, Germany, and Greece. In all of those countries, masses of people are letting the power structure there, both the political power structure and the business leadership, know that there are limits. In France, they are telling the president, Mr. Macron, you are not going to solve the fiscal troubles of France by depriving the people of 2 years of their pension. You're not going to do that. We're not going to let you. In Germany, all the railroad stations and all the airports are closed because the workers are on strike. And the issue there is the inflation. You are not going to jack up the price of oil and gas for all of us and then not change our wages. I mean, we're not going to tolerate it. And Greece, you might find, is even the most interesting. 4 weeks ago, they had a terrible train wreck, worse than the one we had in East Palestine, Ohio, but around the same time. It killed 60 young people, among other things. And they went into the streets to denounce the privatization of the rail system in their country. The government came down on them, and so now they're all against the government. This is making everybody stop and pay real close attention. The Poles in France. My father was French. I speak French. I have since I've been a kid. The Poles in France are about 60 to 65% supporting the people in the streets. So there is no escape from the president for him. He's in a deep, deep container of doo-doo and with very little mechanism to get out of it.
Well, what you're describing also, I have to mention this, but what you're describing is three nations that even with Greece that have a higher rate of participation in unions in the labor force. With a stronger history of labor uprisings, and also like even when you consider France, for example, even if they do not have actual card-carrying union members, they have collective bargaining agreements that encompass damn near the entirety of the economy. In France, it's I believe 98% collective bargaining agreements.
Yes, and they're industry wide. I mean, the unions get together, the employers get together, they bargain across the table, and it covers the entire industry across the country.
Whereas one fact that I like to always point to in the United States of America is the union participation rate in this country is actually even lower than a country that we destroyed, we eviscerated, like Chile. Chile has a 15% union participation rate. The United States, on the other hand, has an 11% union participation rate, which is unimaginable to think about. It's unimaginable to consider, considering what we've done in Chile. I think that factors into this a lot. You talk about democracy at work. You talk about how workplaces should implement a democratic process, even though it's authoritarian currently, and people expect that, and people think that that's normal. I think that that is the main mechanism of pushback. Is
also,
building out.
I want to ask, maybe this is why. I'm just wondering, why are Americans so docile?
Yes. In many ways, that's what we've been talking about, even if it hasn't been explicitly in so many words. And the whole world wonders about it. I wonder about it, but I can assure you, I go to Europe fairly often. I give talks, papers at university conferences and crap like that. And that's the question I'm asked. What is it? The French have the yellow vests a few years ago. You guys may remember before the pandemic hit, this amazing outpouring of opposition among the French people to the rising cost of gas and electric bills. And so yeah, I mean, what is it about the American people? They grumble. You know what they say at the bar at night. You've been there. You know what they say over the dinner table. You know they have feelings about this. They're angry about what the price of eggs going up 2 to 3 times over the last 6-8 months. Everybody knows. You can't. I mean, inflation is a phenomena that pokes you in the nose, every day. So people know, but they have this sense somehow in America that it is either impossible or unwise to get together with other people, enjoy the benefit of having numbers, and beginning to actually act democratically, to say that we the people have a right to be heard, to have a right to shape the policies that we live under. They say it, but they don't really believe it. And somehow in there, I think, lies the explanation for this docility, for this hesitance to get out there and do stuff. It's very discouraging. And I want to go back to the story I told you about the board of directors I meet with. When you have docility like that, you are encouraging the corporate board of directors to think that they can get away with virtually anything. Amazon is in the process, in case you didn't hear it, of doing away with the free delivery.
Uh-oh.
They got what they wanted.
There's gonna be blood in the street from that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because they see profit. They're going to start changing. They've issued some indications. Only if you buy so much will you get. If you don't buy that much, you don't get it for free. You might get it sooner, then the other guy's going to get it later. They're beginning to play the game because they don't think they have any opposition they have to fear.
Part of me, I wonder, like, I imagine if you were to get, like, the majority of people interacting and caring together about one cause. In my mind, imagining Americans doing that is almost hard to believe because the different tribes, the two different tribes here in America, are so opposed, and the propaganda on either side is so compelling. It's like if you have a bunch of, let's say, liberals in the street protesting inflation and price gouging and all this, it would be so easy for Fox News and their saddle and all their cronies to vilify them in whatever way they wanted, right? To prevent the other half from participating. And I feel like there's no critical mass eventually where it's like, because you need both people to come together on a cause to get anything done. I feel like in a meaningful way to have enough people. I wonder if that's why.
There are plenty of issues. There are plenty of issues where the American public actually unite on across the board. Abortion being one of the greatest examples of this, like the protection of abortion rights being one of the best examples of this. And yet, obviously, the Democratic Party doesn't do enough to protect that, and the Republican Party very openly works to undermine it, and not even through the legislative body, but through state legislatures and the court process and the court system.
If a conservative who, let's say, even supports that privately, I think they would be afraid of being perceived as a traitor if they went out into the streets or something like that to support the cause.
I think that they have weaponized wedge issues very effectively in the United States of America as a way as a mechanism to divide the working class. The working class has no class consciousness in this country. Historically, they haven't had class consciousness in the country. Even like in the Eugene Debs era, there were still plenty of people, like the Steinbeck quote that comes to mind immediately is about how socialism will never work in the United States of America because the workers do not see themselves as an exploited proletariat, but temporarily embarrassed millionaires. I mean, that's paraphrased and maybe falsely attributed to this topic, but it doesn't matter. My point is that attitude still exists. American exceptionalism is built into people's minds. Americans still believe a false meritocracy that doesn't exist. These are all ideas that the bourgeois state and its institutions have basically reinforced through even neoliberal institutions like where Professor Wolf graduated from, Yale, all the way down to our regular education and what people are taught in schools from pre-K through 12. So that's it. It's very successful. This is what happens when you have a country that has no class consciousness and capitalists have won. And it makes sense. We are the labor aristocracy. We are living in the imperial core. We do benefit from the global exploitation of the third world, the exploitation of the global south. And we kind of recognize that. We recognize that the cheap goods and commodities that we consume are sedating the masses, and people are relatively comfortable. That's why no one fucking rises up when you see a 700% increase in profits for an egg company, the California Egg Company that just reported like insane, record-shattering profits. And they did that because egg prices were increased. There's too much corporate consolidation. They have all the power, and just like Professor Wolf pointed out, Amazon is doing that single-handedly, monopolizing e-commerce, and then slowly but surely increasing prices.
Oh shit.
And doing whatever the fuck they
Hey,
can, and there's no
99%
way to fight
accuracy.
back against it.
Cool.
So I don't know if you have an opinion about
But
that.
still
It's
slow
probably a
as
whole
shit.
lot of stuff, you know. But it is concerning. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I have to get off. I have other
right.
things. I did want to end my part of this on a more positive note, because I agree with everything you've said. I really do. But I want to again point out, these things can change. In France, it was believed that their working class was divided beyond all repair, basically divided as follows: a vast group of people in the middle, then an extreme right wing associated with the Le Pen family that you may have heard about, father and now the daughter as a leader of a far right wing anti-immigration thing.
Ursula,
and then a fractured left with a communist party, a socialist party, the Green Party, and all the rest. And that they could not get together. The union, there are 8 national union federations in France. We have one, the AFL-CIO. They have 8, and they've never been able to agree on anything. In the last 5 years, all of that has changed. Here's what's happened. In the last election, that Mr. Macron won, and that Le Pen came in second, a very, very close third, 1 or 2 percentage points less, was a unified left, in which the communists, socialists, Greens, and 3 or 4 other parties all got together. Unheard of. And they were, as I say, 2-3 percentage points less than Mr. Macron. That's all. The division in France is very dangerous for the government in power because the left was unified. In the demonstrations that had involved millions of people over the last 2 weeks and are scheduled to continue next week again, the 8 different trade unions who have been unable to agree on anything else are all agreed. They are all together leading this movement. It's led by the labor unions united. France has never seen this before. And I believe it shows the wisdom of a famous remark made by a great leader years ago. Here's how it goes. For many decades, nothing seems to happen. And then in a few weeks, decades happen.
Who said that, Professor Wolf?
The man's name was Vladimir, but not Zelensky. You can think about who it might be, and you'll guess right.
Brilliant guy. He's really good, really smart guy.
I know you have to go, but thank you so much for calling. It was incredible talking to you. You're so great.
So far,
Maybe you'd be open to coming back again sometime. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. I like your program. I like the style and the way you do things.
Oh, thank you.
And you don't beat around the bush, which I really appreciate, because I live in a country where beating around that bush seems to become a
I only beat
Chris.
one bush, Professor, and it ain't the one we
I
talk
won't go
about.
there.
All right. But I do want to say,
Jordan Peterson's grandmother's bush.
I do want to say, you have a YouTube channel, Democracy at Work, or you're associated with it, and somehow you can subscribe on YouTube. I'm gonna put the link in the description. You guys are gonna be greatly benefited by following Professor Wolf on TikTok, on YouTube. We'll put all the links in the description. Democracy at Work on across social media. We'll put them all in there. But go, please support and follow this brilliant man who's gonna be calling in again soon, hopefully.
We're gonna get Ethan to read State and Revolution.
And then we'll talk about that. Very good. All right, gentlemen. Take
Thank
care.
you again.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
One of my favorite Lenin quotes,
Dude,
which
he's
I use all the time.
He's so smart.
Yeah.
everything he says is so insightful and very scary. Frankly, I'm glad he wrapped it up on a positive note. But
I don't even think that Professor Wolf is like particularly smart. He is, but
What the
I think
fuck?
it's more so.
You really
No,
gonna say
I
that?
think he will agree. I think he will agree with
that
this.
man just called in. You're
No,
gonna
I
say
think
he's
he'll
not.
agree with what I'm about to say. It's common sense. I think this is what a lot of people fail to
Can
understand.
he be smart and have good comments?
Yes, but what he is
Fucking hell,
talking
bro.
about, for the most part, especially as it pertains to, talking about some of these issues and foreseeing the inevitable, is just common sense. It's more descriptive, really. I think that's the fundamentals of any kind of like Marxian analysis.
I know what you mean, but goddamn, he's awesome. I didn't even get to. I had all these questions lined up about Jordan Peterson. I'm gonna get him next time. I really want to hear his analysis.
Yeah,
on
there's so much
Jordan's
to
words
talk about.
Marxism. But
He is brilliant, though. Yes, I do think Richard Wolff is great. For the record, I'm just simply...
just not that bright.
No. I think like the real brilliance of Richard Wolff comes from being able to describe complex text with ease.
I was
in a way that
really-
is digestible.
That makes sense. And
But ultimately, like he is simply describing common sense. I think everyone should understand that it's approachable. This kind of stuff is approachable if you just simply think it through.
That's what I was really enjoying. I mean, everything he was saying, I was really. It was really easy to consume and follow. I mean, the guys, we have to harvest his brain more. I need to steal more of his labor. Did I steal his labor?
No, that's not.
Because he's not my employee.
Can
I steal his labor? How can I? I'd like to steal his labor.
This is something people in my community say about like people who quote unquote steal my takes or whatever. But like agitated propaganda is important for class consciousness, and therefore it doesn't matter who's repeating it as long as other people are hearing it. Like, I don't give a shit, and I don't think he would give a shit either.
That was awesome, man.
Having the opportunity to describe such subjects to a broader audience of liberals is always good.
No, 1 sec. That is weird. What the fuck? Sorry. Great guy. We should reach out. Let's get him back on. Let's schedule it.
You started.
Put 30 seconds off where you guys off the line.
What?
Nothing. I was just
write him and say, despite Hassan thinking you're not that smart,
that's not what I meant. I obviously think he's.
I'm gonna send that clip in the email.
Everyone's gonna run with that now. I love Richard Wolff. I think he's great.
No, I was when I told you Wolf was coming on, you said, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I was very excited.
The Wolf?
Yeah.
Well, when you sent it to me, Ethan was like, "We got to get this guy on." I was shocked.
I have so many questions. I had so many more questions about how, like, the distinction between liberal, like and anti-capitalist. I wanted to talk to him about AI as a tool for capitalists, and what like the AI future represents for the labor force. Where the Marxists are in our colleges, in academia, and what the most right-wing departments are in colleges. We have a lot more to talk about, and we'll get to that next time we have him on.
Yeah, I was very thankful for that. So there it is, man. The Wolf. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even ask him a single Law and Order question, which is messed up.
Yeah. As the executive producer of the longest-running crime show, what did you think about that episode with Logan Paul?
Yeah, why do you do so much propaganda, Professor Wolff? How do you find time in your busy schedule to write so many and direct so many episodes?
What was it like working with Richard Belzer? Great actor,
Legend.
Munch.
Absolutely.
We should hit him with that next time. Now that we're friends, it'd be cool.
What is Ice-T like on set?
OG or SVU, guys?
Do you think he would?
OG or SVU?
We can't have been the first ones to make that joke. He's got to know. Do you think he'll know what
He's
we're
probably been
talking
hearing
about?
it for the last 30 years, right?
Yeah.
That shit's been on, so yeah.
I'm sure he's been hit with that. Yeah, but it was dope. This was a great opportunity. All right, but we still got a lot of news to cover. Do you want to go through these line items?
Let's
or do
see.
you want
So
to
we got. I wanted to show. That's a good point. 'Cause I know you probably you can't stay too long.
Yeah.
How long we got you? Because there's a lot here.
I got to leave at 12:30 as I always do.
Okay, cool. I just want to show you this because it's so funny and we can move on to the main stories. But Rudy fucking Giuliani, I mean, I love to make fun of this ghoul. This man was the president's lawyer not that long ago.
Yeah.
Here, another clip.
America's mayor.
He is America's mayor, as we all know. And he has this fantastic podcast. We've watched a few excerpts. Enjoy this one as he pulls up a clip. He's high tech.
He's about to do react shit.
Watch this shit.
I love that.
Well, let's see.
Of course, the press would never, ever.
Stay in your fucking lane. Oh, dude, I've done that. I've done this.
Dude, there's someone behind the
You're
camera,
laughing, but I've done this.
Oh,
I've
there's
done
someone
this.
behind the camera that's moving it and zooming in. This is fucking
And
awesome.
it's not playing. It's not playing.
No, it's not playing.
Get it to work. And the glare from the light makes like a quarter of the screen.
Why is he zooming and panning?
It's a sexual dance.
I don't even know why he's showing this clip. It didn't end up being really interesting, but if you...
And it's so quiet you can't hear.
Yeah, you can't hear it. It's playing off this
I have the volume maxed out.
It's playing off the tablet. And then, so here, I'll just pull back.
That's it? That was the clip?
Well, then, and then he pulled... yes, that's it.
No. That's his clip that he
That's
pulled?
it, yeah.
Why did he pull that?
It was him talking about ice cream. I didn't understand the significance.
He's not even
I'm
reacting.
taking a moment because what I say will be edited if I don't.
Oh, he's just that upset about it.
I have had issues.
This man
Wow.
is a
Powerful.
ghoul.
This man's coming from our jobs, Ethan.
High level.
He's gonna have that dentist guy that you have on next week.
Oh, no! Jimmy!
Yeah,
He would never.
he's gonna have the dentist guy on to interview Donald Trump.
Jimmy would go on fucking Rudy.
Oh, he would
He could
absolutely.
go on Rudy. That's
Knowing
fine.
Jimmy, he's probably already met him too.
They're dogs. Hey, I want to. So just to hit a couple things at the top. Aiden told you to kill yourself. That was cute.
That was funny, yeah.
He also today said about trans people. My pronouns are kill them.
I haven't seen the full clip, but I think he was, what was he? He was looking at
It was a middle school teacher talking about her fringe pronouns. It was a
that's cool, man. That's nice. That was.
He says my pronouns are kill them.
He's such a little edgy teen, going through his 4chan phase, but in front of thousands of people.
Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah. By the way, that hairline is not looking hot. That thing has gone back.
Dude, hey, don't
You know what I'm
don't go
saying?
after Ethan. You know what I mean? That's what happens to your hairline.
Do you see that? It seems noticeably receding.
Every time.
Flash frame to me.
It's just a fact in my
mentioned
opinion.
bad hairline.
Every time he drops another fat rope at his sister, he's losing another.
Oh.
He's losing another inch of his hairline.
Oh shit.
Them's ears.
He's just accidentally jerked off to his sister again. Fuck.
So cringe, bro.
So
All you guys that get to pick your pronouns, my pronouns is kill/them. Okay.
But that's not really funny because people are wanting to kill them.
Yeah. Well,
Which is makes that super crazy thing to say.
the weirdest part about this that I find particularly fascinating is that, he's saying this, but is he ideologically genuinely motivated to actually kill trans people? I don't think so. I think and what's really
Not at all.
important, and this is not a defense of Aiden Ross in any way, shape, or form. This is more so a criticism of the structure itself that in entertainment, anti-trans rhetoric is so popular that even if you're not transphobic originally or don't give a shit or haven't really thought it through, you can lean into that kind of rhetoric as violently as possible like he has thus far, like he's doing currently, specifically to gain clout and prominence through some of the more right-wing circles. That is what's truly fascinating about this, is that someone as stupid as Aiden Ross, who hasn't even been ideologically motivated to be angry at trans people in the same way that fascists like Matt Walsh are, fascists like Matt Walsh or those over the Daily Wire are, he will still repeat that like a toddler.
He's winking to them.
He will repeat those talking points like a fucking toddler with diminished brain capacity, so that he will be welcomed by this audience. I don't know why you think this is a big audience.
I'm still typing below
These
average.
folks are tater tots, so it makes sense. He's pandering to them. But okay, as we're have about 30 minutes left, let's talk about our main story here. Trump finally At long last, we saying Trump's back, baby. He had his first campaign rally today in none other than the great city with the illustrious and wonderful history, Waco, Texas.
Hell yeah, baby.
We're holding out, brother. Of course, is it not coincidental that he held it there at the infamous raid that killed a bunch of people?
30th anniversary.
30th anniversary, in fact.
Yeah.
Why would he want to connect his campaign to the Waco
Maybe he watched a new
massacre?
Netflix documentary and was like, and got the wrong idea. Like he was like, those guys over at Waco, they were good guys. They were very fine people. Like, obviously, the ATF is somehow more monstrous and horrific than like,
because the police were the fucking really fucked that up.
Like,
man.
let me just point something here, okay? I'm no fan of the three-letter agencies, okay? And you know, give it up to the ATF to be the worst guys in a situation that involved a like pedophile cult leader.
Yeah.
Like they still somehow were like, no, you don't understand. We're the villains of the story.
Yeah, no, totally.
But,
So Trump's channeling that. I love that. No matter, it's
But
funny.
that is insane. It is insane to look at that situation and be like, I actually will take a side on this. I'm siding with the pedophile cult leader.
That's it. I was wondering, are you with? But also, he's pro-police, so I guess I just don't understand any side of this one. But here he is.
Branch Davidians. They got some good ideas.
I love the pedophiles. I like a young girl. Who doesn't?
I mean, other than the pedophilia stuff, like obviously the Branch Davidians, they sold a lot of guns, folks. They did. They loved their guns.
True.
Believe me. That's probably why.
So here he is kicking it off. Let's take a listen and a look.
Glory, glory, hallelujah! Look, it's real America!
Oh, yes, sir. It's real America.
You got Uncle Ted, huh?
I'm telling you, the whole world sucks, and America's catching up. But here in Waco, Texas, with the real shit kickers, this don't suck at all.
What in the fuck? This your people? Hell yeah, we kicking shit and sucking dirt down here, boy. Pass me that vinyl chloride, son.
I mean, yeah, Ted Nugent is like a disgusting little piglet, and so he loves that. Like he's like, yeah, we're all filthy. Protect Shredder from Ted Nugent.
Oh, Alfredo's here too. Hey, Freddy. They came with Eula today. Hi, Fredo. Hi. I'm taking Shredder to the another vet after the show to do a specialist.
Yeah.
And did you know that there was like internal medicine, like specialist vets?
I did not know that. No.
I didn't either.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we're gonna go see what they have to say. But anyway, let's continue on here. Oh, can someone grab water for them? Thank you.
Hey, look! Everybody take a look! Take a good look around you. This is real Texas.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Glory, glory, hallelujah! Look!
In real Texas, we gotta fortify the bleachers.
When he says shit kickers, he means like that time when he started taking shits in his own pants, specifically so he could avoid the draft. I think that's what he's talking about.
I am not paying attention to anything these
Like
fuckers
they're
are
just
saying.
in the gunk. You know what I mean? The real Americans.
That doesn't
do
seem,
the
that
dirty
seems like
job.
an insult. Is an unsophisticated or an oafish person from
Yeah.
a rural area.
But he's like, you know, he's reclaiming it.
Okay, we the
You know
real
what I mean?
shit kickers around here. On his way to the stage, he debuted a new dance move. Also a weak fucking crowd size, which is sad. We don't like that, but it's Waco, Texas. I mean, okay, new dance moves, people. Maybe this will make it to Fortnite. Let's see.
The double dick suck is my favorite, and he's still
Right.
doing it. He's still doing it.
You could see his mobility. He's flexible. He's
God,
got a,
he's so hot.
God, that is desolate. There's not a lot of people there. Yo, there is not a lot of people there. You can tell he's got it all, folks.
He popped up.
Yes.
I love the double dick suck. That's my favorite. The dicks. It's the best. It's the best. He's the goat.
Is some highlights.
Did you watch the whole thing or no?
I didn't. I have highlights here.
Okay, I did.
You watched it all? How long was it?
Oh, fuck yeah, I watched it live, dude. I'm his
that's
number
your
one
shit.
stan,
That's
dude.
your
Are you
shit.
crazy? Come on now.
Damn, average.
He
Oh
shit on
wait,
DeSantis
just
a
a
lot.
speech.
Didn't get a lot of applause from the crowd when he was shitting on DeSantis, by the way, which was interesting, even in Waco. He did that. He was kind of mid overall, still rehashing the same issues over and over again. And most importantly, it didn't mainstream media didn't cover it too much.
That's not good.
So it does kind of feel like people are. I mean, he's fallen off a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what
But
happens.
this isn't good because if a lot of people are like, he's going to kill DeSantis. But Trump running again is the same Trump that ran last time. He's not going to have a shot. People don't want him. They've already said, we don't want him. He doesn't have support.
You don't understand, Ethan.
No, I mean, it's going to be a great ride, but he seems like a bad candidate for the Republican Party.
But there is no good candidate for the Republican Party as it stands currently, which is the problem, because you have this internal fraction of people who want more culture war, but they represent the most viable constituency in primaries.
Yeah.
But if you lean into that too much, once you make it out of the primaries, you're going to get pummeled in the national election because the middle class, upper middle class, wealthy suburbanites that otherwise love Reaganite policies and whatnot aren't super invested in consistently talking about children's genitals, and you look like a pathetic fucking sweaty crusty weirdo when you're constantly talking about children's genitals. They're super Twitter brain.
It's gonna be great. I'm so excited
Who's
about
talking about what?
He also put on a rock show at the concert. I don't know if you caught that part of it.
There was a lady.
This is David Koresh, by the way.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know who that is.
The Branch Davidian guy.
That's
Waco
the guy.
That's the guy.
Oh, okay, that's the Waco guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know he shredded.
Yeah, no, he's
I love
shredded.
it.
Okay, fire. So anyway, let's watch some highlights.
Support baby bonuses. So many people like that.
We
For
love the
new
babies.
baby boom that will be coming. We need babies. All of this is.
What is this?
He's been talking about this a lot.
What is the we need babies?
He wants to give subsidies to
yes
families with newborns. I think
he is fearful. Okay, so here's what's going on. In every developed country, there is one consistent principle. The more a country develops, the wealthier a nation gets. If you implement xenophobic, nativist policies like anti-immigration, you will always have a declining birth rate.
Mm-hmm.
Japan is the primary example of this, a very well-developed economy with a basically reverse pyramid where you have a massively aging population. Even Japan has decided to, in recent years, start lowering some of the restrictions and letting in more people and start a nationalization process for people because they recognize oh shit, we have no productive laborers left if this continues. And I think that is the reason why he's trying to get people to have more children because financial access is a major barrier to.
So we need more babies.
Children.
We need more babies.
Obviously, that won't solve the problem because
So not a bad policy, you think?
What?
Not a bad policy, maybe?
It's not necessarily a bad policy. Child tax credits literally wiped out child poverty in this country, which is why even the likes of Mitt Romney were advocating for it. There is almost bipartisan consensus on the matter, but a lot gets lost in this conversation with respect to child rearing, child development, and how expensive it is, but also how little time the parents have to do such a thing. So without any kind of federally protected parental leave, and without any kind of federal protections that would be labor protections that would hurt the profit margins of corporations in the United States of America, you're still not going to see a massive increase in the birth rate of American citizens.
I see. We need
Birth rate's an issue.
For the record, the reason why America has not had the same problems that Japan has experienced is immigration.
Right.
Immigration has been the main reason why
But we
the
don't like
American labor
those.
force is replenished with younger people actively participating. in
We
the labor
don't
force.
like immigrants, brother. Didn't you get the memo?
No. But greatness for our country again.
Oh,
Our
here's
objective
Trump ranting about we must do something about this ugly architecture, people. It's just savage what
This is
they're
my
doing.
favorite part.
will be a quantum leap in American standards of living. We will hold a competition to build new freedom cities throughout our country, giving countless Americans a new shot.
Motherfucker, you think this is Sim City or some shit?
Freedom City, what the
Sim
fuck?
City, dude.
We're a quantum leap in living quality of life. What the fuck? What are you talking about?
I mean,
Dum-dum?
none of his initiatives ever end up happening. The only the most successful legislative policy for Donald Trump in his presidency was the tax cuts that we talked about for the corporations.
Of
and
course,
the
people are
wealthy.
gonna like
So
the
none of
idea
the
of
other initiatives
having
ever actually come to
more
fruition.
money
Freedom
and
cities,
relief for
people.
having
There'll be
kids.
the
Like,
freest cities in the world.
they
Yeah.
get to have
About
sex.
greatness for our country again.
What?
Our
no-
objective will
no
be a quantum
consequences.
leap
The
in America.
promises he's making are like so outlandish. They're not even like believable, I would assume, to even the dumbest people. But shit, I don't
I
know.
can't focus on
Standards of
two things
living.
at once.
We will hold a competition.
People will be able to fly. We'll be able to fly. People, it'll be fantastic. Yes. I'll invent little VR machines to lifelike VR machines to sleep with all the lonely men. Be like real women, everyone for every lonely man in America.
No, you can't do that. Then the birth rates will continue to decline. That's like again the Japan.
You'll be able to
problem.
reproduce with the machine. It's all done.
Dude, that's the Japan problem. Hatsune Miku was two sexy folks. Made the Japanese into hikikomoris. That's what they're calling.
My friends will be having Chinese dick sucking factories everywhere. It'll be
69.
fantastic on every
We must
street.
avoid
every
the
street.
Chinese dick sucking factories.
We'll be collecting semen like it's gold.
He does hype up China quite a bit. Like he's always like, China is destroying us, folks. They're killing us. Now, here's what I will say. Donald Trump is very good at reading the room. So I like to look
I
at.
gotta pee so bad.
Okay, well I'll
Keep that
talk
going.
about this without you while you're peeing. So what I mean by this is sometimes it's best to look at the energy behind what he's actually pushing for or what he's actually stating. What do I mean by this? The last time he ran, he routinely talked about corporate corruption and how much the wealthy own both parties. That was a fundamental truth that he was able to cut through the noise with, and I think that paid in dividends for him. That I think that boosted him as an outsider. What he's doing now is talk with the future cities or freedom cities that he's talking about is obviously silly. It's never going to happen. But having said that, he must have clearly seen that there is interest within his base and within the American population in general for not only innovation, but also a new way of prospering internally through economic development, through building new buildings, through building cities. And he's not wrong about that. That part of the statement is true. Like, if he were to talk about building like a civilian engineer corps or something like that, I mean, you would, and then rebuilding infrastructure and building developments all
housing.
around the country, this would be like a leftist policy almost.
Right.
Of course, it's caked with like xenophobia. He's saying that like these freedom cities are going to shut out global competition or whatever, which that's another vehicle to sell this with, and that that he's trying to, in his words, reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people, all hardworking families, a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream. So, like I said, the principles behind what he's advocating for are sound. It's just, is he going to actually implement this? I don't think so. And even if he were to implement it, the ways in which he would try to implement this would be fraudulent in general, I think.
What's the like city that all the rich people go run away and build in the Ayn Rand book? You know what I'm talking about?
The Libertarian Utopia.
Yeah, the Libertarian Utopia. What's their name for it?
I don't know.
That's what I imagine it would is what he's actually. He's not picturing, public housing or something like that. Ayn Rand, fictional city.
Oh, Galt's Gulch.
There it is. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's picturing. He isn't picturing the projects.
Yeah, except we do have an example of a libertarian utopia. It was in New Hampshire, and because of their libertarian sentiment, it got overtaken by fucking bears.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was a book written about it.
Got overtaken by
Yeah,
bears?
there was a New Hampshire town called Grafton. Matthew Hongoltz Hetling wrote a book about it. A libertarian walks into a bear. That's the name of the book. And this was considered to be, by him, one of the boldest social experiments in modern American history. And yeah, the Vox article it goes into detail about this a little bit, but the book is very...
Foiled by bears.
I'm gonna have to read this. This
They
sounds fascinating.
basically didn't have like an adequate pest control, any kind of fucking restrictions or regulations that you would normally have to avoid having bears destroy your town.
Bear Sims. It's awesome, dude.
It's literally a Simpsons plot.
Yeah, I mean it's like all manner of libertarianism. Ultimately, whenever you talk to a libertarian, they basically are forced to re-describe how a government should be formed while simultaneously claiming that like the government should not exist.
Right.
But they'll still, when push comes to shove, whether you talk about roads or whether you talk about courts, they will ultimately describe to you the necessity for such things.
Yeah.
And then when you ask them how to fund it, taxes.
I don't even understand the point of it. Like, I don't know why people even do that to themselves. Like, why go down the libertarian road? I don't even get the appeal. It's like, I don't.
Wait, I get the appeal. It's American exceptionalism on crack. It's like you're an American. You're an individualist. This entire country was built on manifest destiny and the endless frontier. Making something of yourself, being able to go out and kill a bunch of indigenous people and what?
Was it even libertarian even then?
I mean, it was still, in a lot of instances, it was still government sponsored, but it was very decentralized, ultimately. I mean, you didn't even have a fucking singular bank. That's why there were so many different, like, banknotes and shit. That's why we needed some form of, like a treasury or a central banking system.
Let's start with the capital.
Anyway, we need better
Press the
architecture,
left
brother.
shift key with
To
the left
build new
little
freedom
finger
cities
and
throughout
hold
our
it down.
country,
Press
giving
U.
countless
The
Americans
right
a
index
new
finger
shot at
for
home
both
ownership
fingers.
and a real shot at the American dream. We will build new monuments to our great American heroes. We won't tear them down, we'll build them up.
Yes.
Clean out homeless camps from our inner cities. Get rid of ugly buildings that are hurting.
I love. There's no further thought into that. We're gonna get rid of the homeless. We're gonna take them off the street.
I love when he's
where they go or what we do doesn't matter.
Not your problem to think about.
I love, like, what does he mean, I wonder, when he says, like, we're going to get rid of the ugly buildings? Like, because it's not like
really...
Trump Tower is, like, a beacon of prosperity, you know what I mean?
It's
like
tall, it's fantastic.
It's gold.
It's gold, what do you mean?
Get rid of ugly buildings that are hurting those cities and other places.
I don't know what does that mean? I'm gonna start demolishing ugly buildings?
Yeah. He's gonna destroy them.
It's crazy.
Sure.
We're gonna rebuild them. They'll be beautiful.
This is literally like
it's psychotic.
It's what you see all the Greek statue profile picture people on Twitter complaining about all the time. It's like, we need more columns. That's gonna solve all of our problems. Our buildings need columns again.
Right, but he's talking about going into major cities and blowing up ugly buildings. That's his platform.
Hell yeah.
Ugly buildings that are hurting.
They're hurting us, the ugly buildings.
And return to the magnificent classical style of Western civilization.
Yes.
Talking about great.
Like Trump Tower.
Right, yeah.
Not a modern monstrosity.
In New York.
Yeah. I think he means, like, I mean, this is, like, very American to just, like, I mean, I don't like brutalist architecture either. but I think he means like we gotta destroy those boxy architecture, even though we don't really have it all that much. But like it's basically social housing. Like it's
Right.
Soviet era social housing. Which, by the way, was profoundly successful. For the record, so successful that even like post-Soviet countries have significantly higher rates of home ownership, significantly higher percentages of home ownership.
That's wild.
So remember that before we talk about those ugly houses.
Ugly.
Nobody wants an ugly house, even if you're homeless. They'd rather live on the streets. Here he is, finally going after DeSantis.
Congressman Wesley, that was a good speech you gave. But they've been very loyal. But I'm a loyalist, and when a man comes to me, tears in his eyes, he's at almost nothing in the polls, and he's fighting somebody that's at 42, and he's got almost $30 million in the bank. He's at almost nothing. He's got no cash. And I said, I can't give you an endorsement. There's no way you can win. You're dead. But he fought a little bit, like 150. He was certainly no Jim Jordan, that I can tell you. He fought a little bit, just a little bit, on impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, meaning on television, because I didn't know him very well. But I saw him, so he came and he really wanted. I said, you can't win, can you? How do you can win? Sir, if you endorse me, I'll win. Please. Please, sir, endorse me. And I said, all right, let's give it a shot, because honestly, the Secretary of Agriculture, Congressman Wesley, that was a good
Came to
speech.
me, tears
Tears in his eyes.
Begging.
groveling, crawling on the floor. It was
Like a
pathetic.
little bitch.
Yeah, I mean, the other one where he talked to Sean Hannity about this was pretty funny too. He's like, Abraham Lincoln and George Washington couldn't even save DeSantis, but I did.
I love that.
You know, based.
I love how he like demeans the early founding fathers.
Sing, what's your name and where are you from?
Here's some great interviews, of course, from the rally in Waco. She says she's a South African MAGA preacher. Sent Trump to her in her dreams.
That's fucking terrifying.
So this is definitely all good.
Amazing. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Lindy Ann Hopley, and I am a South African MAGA preacher.
Do you live in South Africa now?
I'm living in America
Thank God.
because God actually told me that there's a revival coming to America.
No.
Had...
What's your visa status? I don't care what God told you in your dream.
These people are always overstayers, dude. Another South African that was a visa overstayer, Elon Musk.
Right.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I guess we don't
But
mind.
he was able to pay his way into like college again, so he could like technically legally be here.
God told me, no. What is your visa status? God doesn't work in fucking immigration, lady.
President Trump was in it, so I'm all about just praying for this country and seeing God get his full reward.
That's amazing. Where do you live here in the United States?
I'm in DFW, so we came
This
down.
girl said, that's amazing. That's her follow-up. She says, Trump came to me in my dreams. I traveled across the world to commit immigration fraud.
I mean, her job.
I'm here legally, and I talk to God. And
her job, quite literally, is to talk to the most mentally unhinged people. Like
he just goes, amazing.
So yeah, exactly.
Incredible.
This is. Ethan, that person is the most sane person she's talked to today.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, fair enough. I came here because God said to kill Democrats. I'm here. I'm armed. I'm going on my way to Washington, D.C. Amazing.
We fucked up one time with that Nelson Mandela demon, so we decided to come to America.
I'm here to kill as many liberals as I can.
So
Amazing. Tell me.
You think they gotta make you gay?
Trump trained with all the Texans, going crazy. All the trucks just honking and going wild. It's so great to see how many patriots there are and so many supporters of just this great movement.
Fantastic. And what is it about President Trump that you love so much?
Is she even listening? Amazing.
You can't. You literally have to dull it out, or else you will become as insane.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's why.
She just waits till they stop talking and goes, amazing.
Amazing.
Well, to be honest, I just started dreaming about him. I have a prophetic gift, and the Lord started speaking to me about him. And in my one dream, I actually did, because I'm totally not political. I'm a minister. I travel around the world.
You had me fooled.
He said, shine your light and don't hide it underneath a basket. So I was a wild party girl and had an encounter with...
No, you were... I don't see it.
But what I loved about this is that I actually, in one of my dreams, I sat in front of President Trump, and I knew he was giving me some type of job. I was kind of like... And I said to the Lord, in my dream, I said, I don't want to lose my ministry for this. Like this guy. And he said, you won't lose your ministry. I just want you to partner with...
Lady, what you're describing is carbon monoxide poisoning, okay? You did not... This is not a real dream that you had.
You left the oven on.
Check your fucking smoke detectors, lady. Insane. It's so awesome.
They're just
in many ways.
Is it? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just so awesome that they're leaning into their in some instances, possible schizophrenia.
Yeah, genuine psychosis.
In Waco, Texas, no other place.
Yeah,
right.
I want to start a cult around Donald Trump here in Waco, Texas.
And that's how you get
massive
your bona
weapons.
fides. That's how you get your bona fides. That's whoever is the most mentally ill is the highest ranking cult member in the Trump universe.
I love it, man. Here is we love them, the Good Liars. These guys go out to Trump rallies all the time.
Yeah.
Well, here's a fantastic exchange. Always good work by them.
Which do you think are more dangerous, drag shows or guns to children?
Drag shows.
Obviously.
How many people do you think have been killed at a drag show?
I don't know, but the long-term effects are detrimental.
Right.
How many people do you think die every year from guns?
I have no idea.
48,000.
48,000? Okay. Well, there's probably 100,000 that die from drag shows.
Which do you think are more dangerous?
Fucking owned. Why did they post this? They got owned. What do you mean? That's evidence. Where'd you get the evidence from? I made it up. Came to me in a dream, brother. Came to me in a dream. I heard it at the South African MAGA Patriot Priestess show.
This was wild. They uncovered a...
Did you...
Wait, this is the same woman. This is the same woman who was there being amazing. I love...
Yeah. She did own this guy pretty fucking
I don't
hard.
think she even meant to.
Yeah, no, she accidentally owned
She
him.
didn't mean to. She was there to just make the craziest people look cool.
RSB, whatever the fuck.
Right Side Broadcasting News?
Yeah.
Duh, my favorite
Sorry,
channel.
I
What the
couldn't remember
fuck?
the
What
The right
no.
side.
But they're even beyond Newsmax or OAN. They are just, if there is just a Trump network, it's this. That's all.
Okay. So this is makes this even more interesting. You have to remember, she was here to make him look good. And this man exposed himself for...
They do
he
make
made
Valor
himself
theft,
look
though.
bad.
That's a big crime.
She
It's probably
couldn't
the
even.
biggest crime, honestly.
He looked so
Oh,
bad
my
that she
God.
couldn't even
I don't
make him
think
look
she
good.
meant to do this. This man's wearing a Trump 45 hat. He's gold.
Let's take a look at what happened.
I
This is
did.
the cringiest
Where'd you
shit.
start?
Marine.
Me too. What was your MOS?
I was special.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh,
I flew into places.
okay. Where were you?
Places.
Where were you stationed?
I can't go into detail,
Okay.
but I can
This
tell you
interview's...
Wait, there's more. We lost internet or some shit.
Oh.
Yeah, he flew into this.
Oh, wait, no, it is over. I saw a longer version.
He flew into this special place and cut the video
I
off.
can't talk about it.
He cut the feed, brother.
She's like, I'm a Marine. She's like, really? I can't talk much about that.
I love that. It's my favorite thing. First of all, Valor theft is always good. Okay.
It is fun, yeah.
Yeah, I love doing it. Yeah, I'm a veteran of the Korean War. It's funnier if you do it
Did you...
for shit that you clearly are not old enough to be.
Here's one last clip, and I'll let you go, son. But
Okay.
This is a bonus clip. Trump explains that if you don't love your children, you don't have to leave them anything. Which is ironic, of course.
I think
If you follow the dots, he's trying to say something.
he's not even. I don't even think this is about Eric or Donald. They know they ain't getting nothing in the fucking will. Okay. Tiffany as well. I think this is more so about Ivanka.
Oh, he's threatening Ivanka. Wonderful Ivanka.
We're in line.
Well, shit, her husband's way richer than he is. So,
Oh, dude, how dare you bring that up?
way richer than Trump broke out.
Talk to you soon. That's fighting words.
happy and rich again.
Let me go back.
And I made farmers happy and rich again.
Yes.
And they're doing a fantastic job. And you know what? Someday it'll become time for them to leave this beautiful earth, and they'll be able to leave their farm without taxes to their children.
Yes.
I got rid of the death tax on farms.
Ridiculous.
Second
So that
angle,
when you
folks.
do pass away, on the assumption that you love your children, you can leave it to them and they won't have to pay tax.
Can you pause for a second?
But if you don't love your children,
I don't want to assume you love your kids.
But before we even get to the funny part of this, like, I hate the death tax or the estate tax eligibility is so fucking high. Do you want to know how many Americans were impacted by the estate tax?
How many?
During when Donald Trump even increased the price floor higher? 15,000.
That's not a lot.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the floor on that?
I believe, what did it go from? I think, was it 10 million? Like, it's...
Wait, you have to have a $10 million property to be eligible?
It's presently 12 million for individuals, 24 million for Americans.
You have to sell a $12 million property?
Like,
or 24
This
for
man's
married.
talking about farms.
Yeah, the gift and estate tax exemption now is $12.92 million or $25.84 million per married couple. Yeah,
that's like super fucking rich.
That's 15,000 Americans total. That's insane. None of those dumbasses at the fucking Trump rally are in that. They're not. Trump himself barely makes the fucking metric, dude.
That's incredible how he spins that. All you good old Americans on your farms.
But it's not him. It's not him that spins it like that. This is every Republican. Trump is just a more effective interlocutor. He's more effective at communicating this and basically articulating it in a way that it corresponds to the desires of the average American citizen who think that they have that kind of money.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that when you do pass away, on the assumption that you love your children, you can leave it to them and they won't have to pay tax. But if you don't love your children so much, and there are some people that don't, and maybe deservedly so, it won't matter, because frankly, you don't have to leave them anything. Thank you very much.
35.
That was like a so unnecessary tangent about how he's threatening kids.
Let's say they go back to polite liberal society and decide to go to the cocktail parties and say, I no longer want to work with Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, the greatest president. Then you don't bring them, you don't leave them anything, folks.
He's the best, man. This is exciting to see him back in form. This is nice. This is good content.
I thought it might also just be a matter of him trying to connect with his audience of old boomers whose kids hate them and don't talk to them anymore.
Back to American values.
Yeah, that too, for sure.
As you know, many of you hate your children, and I get it.
Your children have gone no contact. I get it.
American values, nuclear family. And by nuclear, I mean we're blowing it up. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. What a nice episode we had. Thank you, Hassan. Good times. Professor The Wolf, whose info's in the description. Follow him. Hit him up. Tell him we want you back on Leftovers.
He was great. He was wonderful.
Permanent third co-host.
Love that.
Us and The Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'd be down to
called
do
The
that.
Wolf.
He's a busy guy, but I would love.
Come on, what could be more important than this?
Ask Dick. Ask Professor Dick Wolf.
I thought you said ass and dick is more.
No.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow for Friday. It's Friday, baby.
Yes.
Woo!
That was fun. I don't know what the hell they were talking about the whole time. I was kind of zoned out on my own thing. Let's see, Bryce Hall. I haven't watched this either.
Welcome.
It's kind of boring. I started
March
watching
29th.
it, but
Happy
whatever. I need something.
Wednesday to you.
background noise.
Joined here today by Bryce Hall. Internet bad boy.
Ex-internet bad boy.
Are you an ex-bad boy?
Yeah.
You're reformed bad boy.
Yes.
When did you become reformed?
I'd say like over a year ago.
Was it the mushroom trip?
I did talk about that a little bit, yeah.
The mushrooms reformed you.
Yeah.
Mushroom turned you from a bad boy into a good boy?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, good. We like that.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Would you say that being a good boy is more boring?
No. I'd say like it's less hate, which is fun.
You're getting less hate.
Yeah, which is
and we're able to sit here together, which is nice.
Yeah, I know.
Did you? I
You're
don't know.
surprisingly nicer than I thought you would be.
Thanks, and you too. I mean, I think I'm a nice person.
Yeah, I feel like you put up like this persona that like you're just a douche, very straightforward.
It's my intentional. I want the world to know that I'm a giant douche. So no, I think the people who I talk about, I understand why they would dislike me. You know, I was going back and watching the clip when I was talking about you. I'm also reformed bad boy, if you might even
look at
call
us.
That. Yeah,
look at us.
I've been reformed.
Maturity. It's awesome.
Hallelujah. Yeah. I went back and was looking when the first time I talked about you on Frenemies, and I was like, dude, I was really fucking being a little kind of a douche.
But like you said,
agree.
it's just like the stuff that I was putting out there. It made me look way worse than I actually was.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I will say you're 23, right?
Yeah.
You know, looking over kind of everything you've been through. I gotta say, you've been through a lot of shit for a young man.
I lived a life.
Yeah.
That's fact.
Yeah. Before we get into that, we were talking when you arrived about our mutual friend, Ryan Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
My bestie, your bestie.
Thank you. My factual bestie, your enemy.
Is he your bestie?
I would say he's one of my closer friends, yeah.
That's so interesting, because to me, he's like, I put this accurately. He's like the worst dude. He's like such a big piece of shit.
So the thing is about Ryan Kavanaugh is if you are friends with Ryan Kavanaugh, he will treat you like family and the best that he could possibly treat another human being.
He's got to hold on.
But when you're enemies with Ryan Kavanaugh, he will drag you down through mud.
Well, he hasn't dragged shit. I'll tell you what. I think he regrets ever fucking hearing my name. He's tried. But so that's interesting. And also you mentioned that Brad the Bull is your manager.
That is so weird that you call him that, but
I'll tell you why.
He's gonna get an ego for that.
Well, I'll tell you why, and I think you'll like it. I asked you if Ryan Kavanaugh had ever asked you to fuck his wife. Oh, he's divorced now. Brad the Bull's dating his ex, right?
Ryan and Jess, I have no idea what's
going on. I know everything.
But like,
I got all the Ryan Kavanaugh gossip.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know what the beef is or anything about it.
That's fun, so I want to explain it to you. And obviously, you're close with him, so I'm not trying to ruin your life. I'm definitely not saying don't work with him, and not that you would listen to me, because you should work with him. He's great. He's great for you. But I think it'd be funny to explain our mutual best.
I will not give my input, or I will give my input.
You can defend
I just want to hear what happened.
Yeah. Because
I have no idea.
So first of all, Brad the Bull. We love Brad the Bull. He's our boy. What happened was, well, he was married to this girl. I don't know her name. And then all of a sudden, she started posting all these pictures with Brad the Bull, this jacked motherfucking like. I thought he was Israeli.
He's gonna get such an ego for this.
Apparently, and then we saw pictures of them all in bed together. And we're like, yo, I think Brad, the Bull, in a cuckdom relationship, the Bull's the one that, has sex with the wife. And then Ryan Kavanaugh, who's the cucky, is the one that masturbates in the corner and cries.
I can tell you from personal experience that Ryan and Jess are not together, and Brad and Ryan are best friends.
They're best friends.
Yeah.
Right, and that happens a lot with the Bull relationship. There's a mutual respect.
Well, but there's no cucking. I would assume.
She left him for Brad, I think.
I don't think it was like that at all.
No.
He actually asked him permission because they were friends.
But isn't that crazy? They were friends, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Yo, can I fuck your wife?"
I don't think he asked like that. I think.
Well,
he was
what
like,
else
"Yo,
does it mean?
Can I take her hand?
Can I take her hand and put it on my cock?
Oh my god! Is that what the sound effects?
Yeah.
The sound effects.
By the way, just before I get too deep into Kevin,
Damn it.
I got this drink coming out. I want the blackout.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit this for you.
Really? You're gonna test it live? You can be honest. I don't even like.
How can it taste bad?
Right?
Is it carbonated?
No. A little
Big
bit.
mistake. It is carbonated.
It's like a little bit.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I like the name Blackout.
Trademarked blackout. That's pretty sick.
No challenges.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you have to buy it?
No. There was already somebody that was working on it, and I partnered up with them through Dana White, which was
Dana White. Okay,
Yeah.
well connected. This is great. It says drink responsibly, and right next to the title Blackout. Seems to be in some contract.
kind of contradicting.
Yeah. I wonder how many college kids we're gonna kill on this one.
I mean, that's the
Cheers.
demo that we want.
Yeah, cheers. Let the bodies hit the floor.
I'll drink it with you.
It is very good. I like it. And only 100 calories. That's nice. I'll definitely black out on that.
I'll send you a package.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so but that is interesting
Damn, I
to
fucked
know.
up
So they
again.
were
My bad.
friends.
Whatever.
Ryan and his wife apparently broke up, and then Brad the Bull stepped in. And
I cannot believe you call him Brad the Bull. That is so.
oh, and then you said he wanted to meet me. So then we tried calling him.
Yeah, I would like definitely. I think he's seen the clips, obviously, because you guys have your beef or whatever with Ryan.
Right.
But he just wanted to like say like what's up. I don't know.
I'd love to say what's up. I think he's awesome. I have no problem with Brad.
Yeah, I think you and Ryan, just by the small interactions that I had with you and the long interactions that I had with Ryan, if you guys like got through your differences, I feel like you guys would be really good friends.
It's on him.
Which is
he's the one suing me
he's
for
laughing
time.
over there, but like you guys are very similar in certain ways.
Don't say that. Nothing like him. Take it back. Take that back right fucking now. Yeah, we have a soundbite specifically for Brad the Bull. Go
I
ahead.
hear the bull sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually.
Yeah. But if you want to call him and FaceTime him,
call Brad.
Yeah, Brad the Bull, because he's the celebrity here, and he manages you, and you're his only client.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That means you have a lot of trust in him.
Oh yeah. Let's see if he answers.
That's crazy that you're in so deep with the Kavanaugh camp.
I'll see if he answers. Hopefully he answers. It would be like a bad manager thing to do.
Dude, this is definitely going against him. You answer the fucking phone when Bryce calls.
He's actually always
You're
on
his
his
only
phone, too.
client.
He's always on his phone too, so it like doesn't make sense that he's not answering right now.
Yo, Brad, you're dropping the ball, brother. He's probably fucking
She's in South Africa right now.
He's like, hold on. Hey, Ryan, can you get that? Ryan, who is it?
They're not together. They're not together.
Well, I'm glad that. Actually, I have to say, when I announced that you were coming on the show, I thought Ryan might call you and tell you not to go. And I have to say, I'm impressed that he didn't.
Yeah, no, he really didn't.
That's cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I'll tell you, kind of just give you a crash course. He did this boxing event. God, it was years ago now. This has been going on. He did. It was some kind of Triller boxing event.
Which one?
Which one was it? Do you guys remember which one?
Oh, the Jake Paul one.
The Jake Paul versus
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren.
Oh shit.
And literally, we watched a clip of it on the show, reacting to it, like many people on the internet do. And then he sued me for copyright infringement.
Were you watching it live?
No.
These were just clips?
Yeah, the fight was over for several days.
Huh.
The pay-per-view was over. The fight was over. We actually only watched like less. I think it's been so long now, less than 30 seconds of it. And he sued me for copyright infringement. We think it may have been motivated by Jake, right?
Do you and Jake have problems?
I think at the time he may have not been happy with me. Paul won the bout. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. The fight was 1 minute 59 seconds, right?
So you probably watched the whole fight.
I don't think we did. I don't think we did actually.
Or just the actual knockout?
We watched the actual knockout. Yeah. And so he sued me for copyright infringement. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And we looked into CavCav a little bit. He owns Triller, which frankly is such a shitty app. I don't believe you're even posting to it as his best friend.
He that's just like one of the 50 things that he owns.
Really? He's got his hands in all kinds of...
But it was like Triller was popular and gaining a lot of popularity when TikTok's first rumors of it being deleted in 2020, and I mean now there's more rumors that TikTok's going to be deleted again.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he might get that.
It's the closest thing to TikTok, other than the reels and spotlights and all them. Like that's me and 50 Cent. Yeah.
When was this posted? March 17th. How have you been post since then? The Triller.
Well, I mean, look at that. That's with 50 Cent. That wasn't that cool?
It. That is dope.
I showed him how to do that.
He's like, I can't believe you got 50 to do that. That was like the most ungangster shit ever.
I told him, I was like, I don't want to do this, man.
Oh, funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't posted, eh?
Yeah, no, I don't really post on like anything other than TikTok, Snapchat right now.
Instagram, Twitter.
I don't even really post on Instagram that much.
Yeah, so anyway, so then we were like, yo, look at Triller, this app sucks. It was flipped for a whole day. He sued me for saying it's flipped.
Things flipped.
So Noah back one day the app was flipped.
What does that mean?
It meant that when you moved the camera left, the screen went right or something, right? It's something very odd about the way it was. Noah Beck made this video saying, Triller, your thing is flipped. So now we play that sound all the time, and he sued us for that.
Wait, play the audio?
Yo, Triller, my thing's flipped.
What was that on?
That was on Triller. Noah Beck presumably was being paid. Here, I'll show you the original one.
Like live?
It was a Triller. He posted this man.
Yo, Triller.
Yo, this dude was like, I don't give a fuck about Triller. I'm gonna post this shit.
My thing's flipped. My camera's like flipped around right now, but look, I'm trying to. It's so awkward. Hey guys, like look, it's when I put it this way.
Oh, I see.
I love this shit. I haven't watched it in a while.
Weird. And should I hit all?
Yeah, so we're like, dude, Ryan, your app is fucking flipped as hell.
What account was that? Hard Times 8?
That was just a re-upload.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Bryce probably erased his account. They stopped paying him.
Oh, Noah.
Sorry, Noah.
I'm Bryce. Yeah.
Sorry, that's my bad. You're sitting right in front of me. And then let's see. We a lot. We encouraged a lot of our audience to leave honest reviews about the app, which they did. And obviously, the app is flipped. They lied about Kevin Hart being on it. This man wrote in the description of Triller, he said, featuring celebrities like Kevin Hart. Would it shock and surprise you if Kevin Hart didn't even have a fucking account on Triller?
I have no idea.
You asked for this. You asked for the background on this one, boy. And so, anyway, he sued us for that. He sued me for copyright infringement.
So how many lawsuits? How many lawsuits are on you right now?
Yes. So, and then he sued me for defamation for some really silly shit. Reading the headline of an article that said, Variety wrote an article that said, Ryan Kavanaugh accused of running a Ponzi scheme.
I keep using my index finger for C.
Which was retracted. But he's suing me for reading the headline for defamation. So there's that. And then also he tried to take down one of our websites, which is, does Ryan Kavanaugh look like Harvey Weinstein? Have you seen that?
I think I saw that in one of the articles.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you type his name, Ryan Kavanaugh, which I encourage everyone to do, it's the second result, which obviously Google has decided is very relevant for his name.
Very slow.
The public is confused. They are not the same person, but they have a lot of similarities. For example, we put this helpful graph together.
It's like, this is very trollish, but they don't look alike.
Well, thanks to me. I mean, it's easy to say that now, but thanks to my efforts, you can say that with confidence. Let's see, Noah Beck, my thing is flipped. Here they have appeared together. So it's hard. Here is Ryan Kavanaugh kissing Harvey Weinstein on the head, incidentally. Did you know that he... Did you know he's got DUIs, like a few DUIs actually? Let's see. On probation, and he actually was arrested for drunk driving while on probation. This one's crazy. Lying under oath. When relativity.
So essentially, like your guys' beef is because you'll go into detail and look up a bunch of stuff and then air it out to your viewers, and he doesn't like that.
Yeah, we're just doing journalism.
Yeah, but the media is just such bullshit sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm not the media. I'm like a journalist.
You're a journalist?
I'm like dedicated. Yeah, but he started it, dude. He started it, man. And then, but anyway, he lied. Did you know that he falsely accused his ex-president from Relativity Media of being sexually harassed? Was it sexual harass? He falsified the document. That's why we call him Cav, because they did a forensic analysis on the document that he falsified, and the last person to edit was Cav. So that's why we call him Cav.
Thank you.
Ponzi scheme, I explained that. He stiffed his babysitter for $175.
I think you guys should have a conversation.
He's threatened critics. He sent me this message, bro. He sent me a DM.
I think you guys should talk. I think you guys would actually like each other.
Okay, well, he can start by dropping the fucking 20 lawsuits against me. You want to read this? It's pretty wild. I'll read it to you. He says, Ethan, I am not sure why you have decided to take it upon yourself in your show to malign, attack, and slander, and defame me. I do not know you. I also don't know why you're spending thousands of dollars on dummy accounts, post fake statements about me on my Instagram, and tens of thousands of fake comments to the App Store for Triller. That's all. That is just defamatory. I'll have you know.
Right? Just because
you dedicate an entire show to reading your own fake reviews. That is a lie. Malicious lie. While amusing and slightly annoying at best, I would advise you to stop and mitigate your damage now. Your toy podcast, he said, seems fun and all, but this is real business with real consequences, and you're causing real damage. Clearly, you are very unhappy and disturbed human to take it upon yourself to attack someone you don't know with false and misleading information, especially to spend tens of thousands of dollars on it. But it must stop. You have been warned, and I will not be threatened and maligned. Stand by idly. Govern yourself accordingly. Dude thinks he's a supervillain.
He has a book. He's got a great vocabulary. All right.
He's a good author.
I get it.
Yeah. There's one more thing.
That is Ryan Kavanaugh as a force of nature.
That's it. And we can move on. But thanks for sitting there. Also, he pledged $1 million to Habitat for Humanity, and he never gave him the money.
Thank you.
The sounds.
And now from one incredible partner
they had a whole party
to the
for him.
next, I have an amazing
They
announcement
had a whole party
to share
for him
with all
because he
of you
donated
tonight.
$1 million.
Because of all your
And
hard
he
work
never
during
gave
the
him
Jim
the
Carter
money,
Work
dude.
Project.
I know for a fact Ryan Kavanaugh does a lot of stuff for charity.
Yeah, just not them.
I don't know what charity that is.
But thank you for sitting through that. I didn't bring you here for the
Yeah,
point
now I understand.
doing that
I
for you.
understand now. Like
The
you guys
thing is,
have
we
your,
have deep beef.
Yeah, you guys definitely go back and forth.
That's why I figured he would be like, "Yo, Bryce, don't go on."
No.
Yeah.
He actually did not even mention it.
There you go. So he's got some class after all. Also, he says he wants to have sex with 14-year-old Natalie Portman. Play it.
Stop. We don't even need a
relationship with a 14-year-old Natalie Portman.
We don't.
I'm just saying. All right. Well, anyway, I'm not here to gotcha you with Kavanaugh stuff. So tell me about. We ran into each other at Laguna Beach.
We did.
So that was interesting.
I was there for a charity football game.
Charity football game, and
with a bunch of NFL players.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that they were easily
Oh no, I wasn't.
outplayed.
I definitely wasn't good.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a very fair lineup.
No, it was like all NFL ex-quarterbacks, current quarterbacks. Josh Allen was there. Aaron Rodgers. There's like a bunch of people.
And what charity were you guys raising for?
Each team represented a different charity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
So it was pretty sick.
So I was there with Ela and my dogs, and we were there just getting away because my wife's about to get pregnant with our third baby, so we were just taking like a little bit of a weekend off. And it was nice running into you. I was pleasantly surprised. You were very nice, very you reformed. You've been reformed, and it's nice that we got to connect and get you on. We were trying to get you on the show. What, like
a year ago?
Yeah. And so. You told me when I met you, you're like, yo, I've been vaccinated now, so I can come in.
Ryan Kavanaugh is calling me.
Let's go.
I don't think I should answer this, should I?
Let's fucking go, man. But he knows you're live, right? Yeah.
I'm live.
Turn up his mic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll call you back. Bye.
You want to step away and call him?
No.
Does he not know?
I don't think he even.
Oh, that's just a.
I don't think he knows I'm live right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's the closest I've ever had to talking to him. I felt a little tingle hearing his voice.
I was kind of getting like nervous. I was like, no, what is this?
Wait, should we have a conference call right now?
I think you guys should have a conversation.
I'm open to it.
Man, imagine it's live on the air like this.
That would be fucking good content, boy.
Yeah, I feel like you guys could either make up or it just gets really bad really fast, and then I'm in an awkward situation where I'm just sitting in the middle of it.
We'll become besties. We're like, we don't need you anymore. You'll be like, I'll be like Brad the Bull to your. Would you text and be like, yo, let's hash this out right now?
Should I text him and just be like, yo,
I'm live with Ethan. Let's hash this out.
Oh, Brad just called me.
They're all okay. We can talk to Brad.
Okay, let me just.
Brad.
I'll call Brad real back.
This is great because I can't emphasize how deep lore this guy.
Yo, we're live right now.
Brad the Bull, the legend, the stallion. He looked pissed.
Dude, no, they keep playing the bull sound, and I'm like, this guy's gonna get an ego. But no, we talked about it. It was very, very short. I just got a understanding of the beef, and now we're done.
Yeah, we're moving on, Brad. Okay. Thanks, Brad. I heard. Hey, Brad. Thanks for taking care of her, bro.
Stop. It's not like that. It's like it's the little slight shade. I don't know, but all right.
It's the passive aggressiveness.
Can't do that to Brad.
I thought he'd be cool. Well, I gotta say, when he saw me, he was like, oh fuck, no, not that guy.
He's like, I don't want to be involved in it.
Oh shit. Oh fuck, that's funny. Oh fuck, that's better than I could have.
But yeah, that is my manager, Brad.
He seems like a good guy. Again, I love Brad. I got no problem with our boy Brad. Pound it for Brad.
Yeah, Brad is a good guy.
Yeah,
he's taking care of me.
Yeah.
But so is Ryan.
That's important. It's important. So anyway, we were talking about. Oh, geez, would you text him and say, let's just get on a conference call and hash this out? The calf. I mean, it's up to him. He says no, we move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can.
And of course, you don't have to. We can move on too.
To be honest, I don't even want to be in that awkward scenario.
Yeah, that's fine. We can move on.
I can do that after I leave the podcast.
I hope I don't get you in trouble though.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Too much wine. Sorry.
Well, you're his only client. What's he gonna do? Fire you? Be unemployed?
Brad?
Yeah.
Well, Brad's a very successful real estate guy, so I mean.
He'd fire you think?
I think we're just more friends than anything. We're just friends that do business.
Yeah, you guys are dogs.
Yeah.
So anyway, where were we? We were talking about. I ran into. Oh yeah, you said the last time I invited you on the show. I guess you weren't vaccinated, but now you are vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't check it, but
what's the deal? Check it?
Are you? No, that's good. Were you like against vaccinations? Were you?
No. It was just it was the timing of everything. It was because it was so new, and I just didn't have the time to like go in multiple shots.
That's fair. Yeah, busy guy. Mm-hmm. It's been hard to move past all that Kavanaugh stuff. Need like a minute to decompress.
It's like after all that,
That was intense.
I feel
I can't believe I just came face to
What are
face with
alfalfa
Brad the Bull.
cakes?
I stared him down like a matador. What is it called? The fucking Spanish bullfighters?
Matador.
Yeah, I stared him down like a matador. He snarled and looked at me. I saw red in his eyes. It was the greatest opponent I'd ever faced down. Yeah. Maybe here, let me find something funny we can watch, maybe to break the tension a little bit. You know, are you cool with Austin McBroom, or did you guys ever make it up, or you still hate him? I hate him. I think he's,
Yeah, I know. I've seen like a lot of the clips.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I just think. I mean, it's just. I think drama in general now is just like complete bullshit. I think it's a waste of time.
Well, he ripped you off.
Yeah, he did, and he attempted to rip off like every single fighter on the card, which is like pretty shitty.
That's not drama.
And
That's
if
just
it
like a
wasn't
crime.
intentional, I do apologize, but like, he went in there, promised an amount for every single person to go train, take time off of their actual careers for 3 months, and only focus on one thing for most of us not to even get paid, which sucks. He ripped off the artists that performed. He ripped off the investors. He ripped off the fighters. He ripped off everybody. And I'm surprised that he's actually still getting opportunities.
That's what was blowing my fucking mind. He went out and didn't he have another boxing event?
Yeah, he did with Kid. And it did absolutely terrible.
Well, I'm not surprised, but who the fuck would work with him after that?
I mean, it was Social Gloves. It was his company. But that time he didn't have investors, I'm assuming.
So did you ever get, and he promised you $5 million, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty fat payday.
Yeah.
Did you get any of that?
I got some, but we're
a small amount of it, or like a decent chunk?
I mean, I got a small amount compared to the 5 million, but I mean, I still got something, which is nice. And then we're still working on it legally to get the full amount.
Okay, so it's still a work in
that's why I'm still okay with like Social Gloves doing their thing.
Yeah, please make money.
Yeah, just make money so I can get paid. You know.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
But
yeah, he's such a fucking...
He's fighting again in like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't he just get his ass beat by someone?
Yeah, Gibb, and he's fighting Gibb again.
Wow, dude. Okay, good for him. He's hustling. He needs to get that
and
paper.
he's doing like those boxing matches.
Did you see? Actually, I've been meaning to watch this video. It could be fun to watch it together. He put out a video saying
that he was done. I saw that.
That he only lost because he got COVID. Like out of nowhere.
He also admitted that he injected himself before the fight.
Injected with what?
IVs, which is against like fighting.
Is it? You can't take an IV?
No, not before a fight. He did.
Why? Because it's like they don't know what's in it.
It's an enhancer.
Right.
So, yeah, he admitted to that on video, which is crazy.
Well, apparently it's not deterring anyone, Gibb, from fighting him again.
I mean, and it's like he's pulling the hey, I coughed right before my fight type vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a clip of him being like, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in.
Like, I just gotta admit, like, yeah, I got my ass kicked, and I have no excuses for it other than my nerves.
This man made a whole ass documentary.
It's like 20 minutes, yeah.
Trying to explain why his ass got beat because he had COVID.
He was like, COVID made me weak. And I wasn't able to perform at my best.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Therefore, I need a rematch.
Oh, here. Let me open it. Here's where he says he has COVID. By the way, I don't think you're supposed to fight when you have COVID either, genius. Pretty sure he just admitted to like a crime.
Yeah.
He's like, I walked into a huge auditorium. I lied to everybody.
I think it got passed because there was nobody in the actual stadium.
Right, there's nobody there. Yeah. Here's when he says he has COVID.
That is the best.
Okay, come on, not Keemstar.
So it took me 6 months to convince myself that it was okay to share what I experienced that night with you guys.
Hey, guys, we're gonna clear out the room. Go ahead, everybody out.
Well edited.
That's true.
That was one hell of a fight. Gibb, you're one hell of a fighter. You deserve that win, and I wish you the best of luck.
That being said, I would have definitely beat his ass if I wasn't sick.
He's like, you're a good fighter. You deserve that win. But the only reason I lost is because
Yeah,
of COVID.
yeah. I would have beat your ass otherwise.
So I feel like majority of people who experienced or would have experienced what I experienced that night would have shared this story immediately. Definitely the old Austin would have shared this the night after the fight.
Dude, what a fucking douche. Yo, anyone else wouldn't be able to hold this.
I waited 6 months to say this.
To tell y'all that I.
Oh yeah, guys, I forgot to mention in my fight with Austin, I also had COVID.
Oh
So
man.
that's actually the only reason I lost.
It's dope that you waited this long to tell us.
I had to wait 2 years
That's
before
really
I
cool.
disclosed this information, but yeah, I had COVID during my fight, and that's the only reason I lost.
This is awesome, actually.
Me wanted to wait until the time was right. And I also didn't want to take anything away from Give that night. So now I'm about to share something with you guys that nobody knows besides my family.
Where did this fight take place?
I think SoFi. It was like a massive.
Wait, where's
stadium.
SoFi?
Downtown.
Okay, so because in LA we have super strict
Or the
COVID
Staples
laws.
Center? Was it the Staples Center or was it SoFi? I remember it was.
It was
here
in
now.
LA though.
Yeah.
Because LA City has really strict COVID rules, so there's no way this dude didn't break the law. Going in there with
Yeah,
COVID.
this was also 6 months ago.
Right.
My team. And now you guys. I'm gonna try my best to narrate the day of the fight and how it all went down.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I
Boring.
don't care.
Shut up.
It's like he basically just said he had COVID.
Blood boiling.
Blood boiling. You know, I was saying you've been through a lot in your life. Where is it that you grew up? Where you?
Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Dangerous part of Maryland, or
Like 20 minutes from it.
20 minutes. It's a dangerous state, right? Or some parts are dangerous, some parts are.
It has its nice areas though.
Yeah.
There's like really nice areas of Maryland. I was blessed to be growing up in the Ellicott City, Columbia area. But yeah, there's bad parts of Maryland too.
Yeah.
But that's with every state.
And you grew up in a single parent house, is that
Mhm.
right?
Shout out, Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the story with your dad? Did he leave before you were born or after?
I was 2.
Wow.
2-ish, yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, but my mom did great-ish. She raised a guy like me.
Well, it's not easy to raise as I have kids now. I don't know how single parents do it. It's like a miracle.
I stressed her out so much as a kid too, so I like feel like even worse when I'm now an adult and I understood.
Do you remember your dad leaving? I don't know.
No.
He was pretty young.
I actually had no idea even what he looked like until my mom sent me a recent photo of him, and I didn't get any genetics from him.
You
Thank
don't see
God.
it?
No.
But he's not pretty.
Oh, he's
sounds like.
he's not a good looking guy.
Yeah. Okay. Your dad is ugly.
Yeah.
Heard it here, Dad. Loser. And is he still alive? Has he tried to reach out to you?
He has tried to reach out.
Like since your success, or do you think it's because you're successful, or because he wants to connect with his son?
It's definitely because of
Really?
success. My mom, I mean, obviously I have no idea who he is as a person, but like my mom has told me he's a mooch. He was like using my mom for what she had. My mom's like making good money as a single mom. Like even as a woman, she's making great money, especially living in Maryland. Now she lives in Florida, but he just never had like a stable job, a stable income. He was always just relying on her. So
were they ever married, or
no?
So
My mom and dad were not married, but my mom was married to a guy before my dad.
I see.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
7 half brothers.
7 half? Oh, so
my dad has 6 other
holy fuck
kids.
That dude's been busy.
Yeah, and they all start with BR.
Really?
All the kids start with BR, and they're all boys.
Whoa. What other BR names are there? Brian.
There's like Brandon. Bryce. I don't know any of the other ones, but I remember my mom telling me all their names, and they all start with BR.
That's fucking wild.
So he doesn't really have like a different.
Not very creative.
Yeah, he's not really creative with the name.
Do you know your half siblings?
I know one of them, which is Brandon.
Brandon.
Yeah, and he's like the closest to my age.
And did he abandon kind of all of his kids?
Yeah.
Wow. What a fucking piece of shit.
Right?
What's it like?
Just I think one of the moms has 4 kids.
Jeez. Man. So there's 3 or 4 different moms? How many different moms are there?
I think there's 3 or 4.
And do the moms know each other?
I think my mom talked to Brandon's mom. But
how'd you guys meet?
Me and Brandon?
Yeah.
He lives in Maryland, so
I really spent this whole time.
We're
just
still
doing
close
this shit.
with my dad's family, which is weird.
Okay.
But
so you found out.
I met Brandon through my dad's family, and we kind of like are similar in certain ways. Like we lift weights, you know.
That is weird. So you're close with your dad's family. What, like his
sister,
siblings?
His sister, so like his aunt, or my aunt, I mean.
Whoa. And what does he do? Is he just like a bum? Like, what is he up to?
He's in and out of jail all the time. He's like such an idiot. Mainly for abuse.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So how was it kind of growing up with just your mom? Did you have maybe like... I see you. We call you the bad boy. We say that kind of like jokingly, but you do get into fights and stuff a lot, and have maybe, I don't know if it's fair to say, like maybe are angry at the world, kind of.
I was bullied my entire life growing up.
Really?
And I didn't realize it was unnatural to have only a mom in my household until like kids at school were like making fun of me for it.
Is that why they were bullying you?
No, I mean...
Hell yeah, that's why they bullied you.
That's insane, dude. Kids are so fucking
weird.
evil.
They're so weird.
What's up, one parent having loser?
you know a dad loser?
That's like, you're like...
no dad. No, but that was one of the reasons. I was also overweight as a kid. So like my entire life... I was just bullied, stepped on, and it clicked.
Is that it?
In high school, like
Who
halfway
is this
through
guy?
high school.
Bryce Hall?
That
Never
I just
heard of him.
was tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
I took steroids.
Oh, that helped you. That helped you.
That was the one that like passed me.
If you stop, don't you lose the weight?
No, not you. You lose the initial push, but it's super easy to get back up to it naturally.
Really?
It's not natural
It
anymore.
says SARMs is used to bulk up and increase strength, but without some of the negative side effects of steroids. SARMs work by binding to androgen receptors in muscles and bones.
There's also like 6 different types.
Muscle mass and strength increase. Fire.
Yeah.
Did you get it? Was it like a black market thing?
I got it through one of my trainers.
Oh, that's what's up. Trainers always have shit.
Yeah.
Trainers.
And I was like, hey, how are you getting so big? He's like, oh, I have this little sauce I like.
And is it like an injection?
No, it was pill form, oral.
Oh, see, that's even better.
Yeah.
Because most steroids are injected, right?
In your butt.
I don't like all that.
I'm scared of needles. That's why I haven't like hopped on like the real stuff.
So you only took it for 6 months, and you like
6 weeks.
6 weeks, and you're like, boom.
Yeah.
Oh, and what happens if I take SARMs?
You don't want to take SARMs. If you like just inject.
I didn't realize. I guess when you look at someone who's like super jacked, it's fairly easy to tell if they're on steroids.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, there's like a normal body.
And then there's Bradley Martin.
Bradley Martin, that man is on steroids, right?
That man is massive.
Like
He's
that you can't
behemoth of a human.
Can you not look like that natural?
No.
Okay.
You can't look like that, even close to that natural.
Because I'm wondering, like, what's the possible limit you can do off? But anyway, the point is, I think it's like super fucking common.
There's like lifetime natural bodybuilders, but you'll even see them. They look nothing like that. Nothing like that. That's like that is a behemoth.
He looks like Hulk, like literally Hulk. Except
that is a bear as a man.
Yeah, even Hassan, my friend and co-host, says he's just straight up like, yeah, I want to take steroids. He's like, I just want to look fucking jacked like that.
He would blow up. He's like 6'5".
He would look crazy.
He would get so big.
This man is natural, though, I've heard.
Yeah, no, he's very natural.
Oh shit, that reminds me. He said he wanted to come back on and talk about his natural journey.
Right.
Did we ever reach out to his people?
I'm not sure, honestly.
He sent me that weird voice note. Fuck.
I've wanted to have a conversation with this guy, but I feel like he's just so animated.
He's a character. He's not a real person. Like his name's Brian. I want to talk to Brian. You know what I mean? Not Liver King. But let's reach out. I'm gonna make that happen.
He's like a 45-year-old gym bro.
Yeah.
That has never got out of like the screaming of like gains, muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Okay, interesting. So let's see. Oh my God.
That's what he used to look like.
That's what steroids does, huh?
I want to see.
Bro. And
I don't even know if like Brad's open about like his use, but man.
So what is it? Here I'm reading about the SARM side effects. I'm just curious. It says it can lead to irregular periods. I don't believe that affects you.
Yeah, no. I saw like a few videos of like some people losing vision
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, so I got scared and immediately hopped off.
Just side effects might include blindness. It says more than half of SARMs users experience side effects, including mood swings, decreased ball size.
I mean, that's like with any steroid.
Did your balls shrink?
Yeah, your balls like tighten up.
They tighten up.
Yeah, like
the skin's tight. You got a tight sack.
Yeah, like think about when you hop in like a cold tub. And your balls get like really small. It's like that 24/7.
Are they still like that?
No.
Once you stop,
your body starts producing natural testosterone again, and your natural testosterone comes from your balls. And if you're injecting stuff or if you're taking stuff, you're relying on that testosterone, so your balls aren't really needed.
That's fucking interesting. Some people like a tight sack.
I mean, it makes your schlong look bigger.
It does.
Yeah.
Because the balls look smaller.
Yeah.
By comparison, it looks bigger.
Yeah.
These are good things. Tight sack.
Tight sack, big schlong.
I'm feeling that. May cause hair loss, I also saw.
Yeah, that's every steroid.
That's all the steroids, yeah. Well, that's exciting. So you grew up... I gotta imagine, like my dad grew up in a similar fashion. He had a dad who walked out on him when he was like 5. And I know it affected him so deeply for his whole life. I genuinely feel like it's one of the most fucked up things a person can do in life. Just to abandon their child. Do you have resentment towards him? Do you have like feelings at all? Or do you try not to feel anything about it?
I try to feel nothing about it.
Does that work though?
I mean, like I said, I never knew it was unnatural to grow in a single mom household.
Right.
So I don't even know what it's like to have a dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no feelings towards it because I've never experienced having a father figure.
Mm.
This is just like how I grew up, my normal.
Oh, dude, it's sad. Losing your dad or losing your mom is the worst feeling ever.
Sought out or looked for in the world.
My mom says I did, but I definitely don't know. Again, I don't know what a father figure is like. Like, I don't know. Is it someone that gives me advice on my financials? Is it somebody that leads me in a certain direction? Like, then I have a lot of those.
It's it's meant to be. I think theoretically, ideally, a lot of us have shitty dads, but a positive male role model. Did you find those?
It teaches you how to.
I thought I did, and then they screwed me over.
How to love other
financially.
men in an
Like what
ungay
happened?
way.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, well, it's like I always thought of, because I've been doing social media since I was 14, and there's, fake social media managers that'll get you deals, but then they just take your money. It's like a huge problem here in California, or in Los Angeles, like fake social media managers that are in like their mid-20s to like early 30s, and then they say like, oh, I can do this, and this, and then they just end up screwing you over, taking your money, and then the people that get their money taken don't have enough money for legal, so then they just get to keep the money.
I ran into similar situations when we first started working. We don't work with agents or managers or anything for that reason, because every person we worked with was just like scheming, and we're like, fuck this, I'm not working with anybody. But I'm glad you found someone honest to work with Ryan Kavanaugh.
Brad is my manager, yeah. He's the one that does everything.
He was so disappointed, bro.
The face he made.
I hope that he's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna get like a little.
He's gonna give you a little scolding.
Yeah.
So, but tell me about what happened. Were you making money at a young age?
Yeah.
14, you were making money because you were on like Musical.ly, which is.
I was on YouNow.
What is even YouNow?
It's a live streaming network. I don't know if it's still.
It's still up. I'm looking up right now.
I know it like completely died around like 2016.
This is what it looks like. Looks like it hasn't been updated since. That's crazy, bro. There's this whole streaming.
It was like Twitch.
Where they can.
Are there still people live right now?
Here, let's click one.
How many views is that?
This guy's
30 viewers.
Popping. It's really slow load, bro.
Yeah, no, it used to be a
struggling.
thing. I was like averaging thousands of viewers concurrently.
Really? So how did you make money on YouNow?
It's tips.
So you're getting tips?
Yeah.
And so you were doing like a pretty good. I mean, I didn't make shit when I was 14, so it's been.
So yeah, like my first paycheck was like 2.5K.
That's crazy
at
money.
14,
yeah.
and my mom didn't know like what I did or even how I like was making money. She was like, "You should get a job." I was like, "Eh." And then she sees my first paycheck of like 2.5K, and she's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Mom, I'm 14. I live stream." So she got sussed out.
I would be too. I didn't know what that shit was.
She's like, "What do you mean you live stream as a 14-year-old? What are you doing on live?"
She's not wrong. That is pretty sus.
Yeah, no. Then she started watching my live streams, and the reason I started live streaming was because I didn't have any friends. So I wanted to talk to people.
That's interesting. You that hard? You're not like that much of a punk, dude. You can't make friends at all in school.
Yeah, no, people didn't like me.
Huh?
That was weird.
No friends.
I had 2 friends.
Oh, so you go to YouNow, and you start streaming, and who's watching you? Is it like girls?
Yeah, it was mainly girls. There were some guys that thought what I was doing was just stupid funny.
What were you doing?
But I was just
like
being myself.
Songs and shit?
I was literally being myself. Just prank calling, doing like 14, 15-year-old shit, you know?
Okay. Wow. So you were kind of an early adopter. I mean, I think you were in the game before a lot of us.
9 years.
And so you're on YouNow, making a little cheddar from that, and then where do you go?
Musical.ly.
And are you making money from Musical.ly?
Musical.ly is what popped me off.
I read that you got like... you had like 1 million followers. You were big on that.
I was one of the bigger creators on Musical.ly, yeah.
And did that help you reduce the bullying, being on Musical.ly?
That actually amplified the bullying.
Were you in high school when you were doing those?
I was literally just a regular high school kid doing like those Musical.lys.
Yeah, people must have gone crazy for that.
Oh my god, dude. Walking in the halls, just like kids holding it up.
Kind of jealous though, because you were blowing up, dude, making money. It's like, who the fuck are they?
Yeah, I know. But it's like, when you're young, you don't understand how stupid... high school is in general, like people making fun of you, bullying. It's just all so stupid, and it shouldn't really get to you, but it does when you're in that environment, and that's the only environment you haven't seen the real world.
Talk to me about, like, I'm genuinely curious, like, what does it mean bullying? Like, you would go to school, you have 2 friends you hang out with, and people would what would
And
people
it's
do?
Yeah, so we had 4 different lunch periods in my school. And I was just hoping that my 2 friends would be in my lunch period so I could sit with people. I literally didn't have a table to sit at, so I would get my food and act like I'm going to the bathroom, and I would go to the bathroom and just eat my food in a stall.
Jesus, bro.
Yeah, it was so
that's
bad.
Like really fucking sad.
It's so weird to say out loud.
And people were taking shits next to you, and you were eating your lunch.
Eating my food.
Gnarly.
Yeah, no. And then it was just like the typical high school bullying. It was like people would try to fight me. People would like shoulder check me, knock my shit out of my hand, call me names.
Dude, kids are so fucked up. It's like looking back now, it's it's like fucking psychotic.
Yeah, no, that's why I think it's just so funny and stupid. But
although I'm old as shit. I'm 37. So for you, you're 24. You've been out of high school for a while, but it's not that far behind you either.
Yeah, no. I'm turning 24 in August. So it'll be, what is that, 6 years, 7 years?
I mean, it still affects you, Would you go to a high school reunion just to stunt on it?
Oh, yeah. I'm totally going to my high school reunion.
Really?
Yeah. I wish they had like a 5-year one, but they only do like the 10 years.
So you got to keep it together for another 5 years, bro.
Like another 3 years, I got to keep it.
Don't burn out. Don't get arrested. No fights.
Yeah, no, I got to keep
it cool.
Like chilling.
Good. Just, yeah. Yeah, I didn't go to any of my high school reunions personally. I was just like, whatever.
I bet they all know what you do. They definitely do.
You think so?
100%.
I kind of minded my own business too. I don't know if I was, like, I had a few friends and we all kind of just minded our own business. You know what I mean?
I feel like everyone in Hollywood we were like the outcasts in high school.
Potentially, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm an outcast, but it was fine. It was fine. But I do wonder if they know what I do. I haven't thought about a lot of those people in forever.
I mean, you have a very successful podcast. I think they would know that.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, if you guys are watching, I fucking made it, losers, idiots.
You're getting bullied now.
Fuck you. That's right. Girls who didn't want to talk to me, what now? They're like, yeah, you're still beat. I want to touch you. Even knowing that you're rich. But, like, you are known as a heartthrob, right? You accept that title?
Oh, do you think so?
Aren't you a hunk? Aren't you the bad boy hunky guy?
I mean, I have my days where I look good. Like right now, I look beat as hell.
You don't think you look good?
Oh no, I'm like looking beat.
You guys all have the same haircut. What do you think about that?
Oh, I'm gonna cut it. I need to cut my hair. It's so long.
Yeah, you guys all kind of just throw it forward.
I just let my hair grow. I don't style it. I just let it grow, and then if it gets too long, I cut it.
Got it. So you must have been getting some female attention though when you lost the weight.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Online, not.
Okay. That's weird.
Because they didn't know me.
You were getting attention online, but you go to school and everyone hates you. That must have been weird to have like that double life.
Yeah, it was like I was living a real life Hannah Montana. Put on the wig, and then nobody knows it's actually me, and then take it off. I'm like, what? Am I this?
Fuck me, dude. And were you a good student in high school?
Yeah. I had like some teachers that didn't like me, but then I had like a lot of teachers that liked me.
And so let's see, you're on Musical.ly, you're popping. How do you make money on Musical.ly? Did they have like a
it was mainly
rev
live
share?
streaming.
Oh, live streaming the same way.
So it's like it kind of just flowed from my my YouNow streams to Musical.ly streams. So it was like, super easy.
And then from that, was it just straight to TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did YouTube for about like 2 years, where Musical.ly was just like dead, and yeah, just it turned. I remember going to the actual like event that Musical.ly transferred over to TikTok and was bought out by ByteDance or whatever. And I remember seeing it and being there. I was a little drunk, and I was like, the announcement. They're on the stage, like making the announcement. I'm like, this is not gonna work. This is the stupidest thing. This is hilarious, and it popped off, which was funny.
I wonder. I mean, I'm surprised because what is it called before it was TikTok?
Musical.ly.
Musical.ly seemed like
musical
to me.
ly.
That seemed like the weirdest, silliest shit I have ever seen in my life.
I think the video concepts were so stupid. I don't even know how they were getting popular. It was like filmed in 0.5, and you're just like,
dude, I was like, what the fuck is going on with these kids? And I mean, looking back now, let me pull up some of these. Do I have some of these? Do you watch these back and like cringe, or are you just kind of like whatever?
Oh yeah, I get haunted by them. I think it's like a funny, it's like a funny joke on TikTok for people to like just keep tagging me in them.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute the music, but I mean,
yeah, it's bad.
You were making it though, dude. People were loving this.
Look at me though. It's so weird.
Were you one of the better lip singers, do you think, on that app?
I have no idea what the attraction to that was. Like, what is that? Like, I'm just in the middle of like a workout, and I'm just like, wait, hold up, I've got to do my Musical.ly.
So is this what you looked like? Was this the kid who was getting bullied at school?
Yeah, now that I'm actually like looking back at it, I can see why.
No, everybody looked like that.
I'm just kidding.
Everybody looked like that.
It was like the Justin Bieber 2015 hair. Me and my boys.
You got all kinds of homies there, bro.
Yeah, me and my boys.
Hold on.
Well,
you got more friends in this room than I had in high school.
That's in LA.
Okay, this is after.
Yeah, this is in LA.
Was it weird to come to LA and then have like friends for the first time?
Yeah, and especially like because it was like my first time meeting like online kids in person. Because I was friends with them over social media. So then I meet these people that I was just texting and FaceTiming in person. It was like my first friends. I was like, holy shit, I have friends. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
You know, that's funny. I got older and I have no friends now, so that's kind of an interesting dynamic. You have that to look for.
I mean, I have like probably 5 friends.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like having like 5 close homies that I can just be like, yo, these are my homies.
So so you grew up, you come out of high school, you moved to LA. It's kind of all happening for you, and here you are. How is it? What's your main source of income these days?
Right now, I think it's like mostly every creator that's on this program, but Snapchat.
Fuck, I've heard about Snapchat.
Yeah.
How many views do your videos get there?
My stories get anywhere between 50 to 100 million.
Views?
Yeah.
Per story?
Per like full story.
50 to 100 million?
Yeah.
Wait, what the fuck?
Some days it's like 300 million.
Wait. Do you guys use Snap? I've never used Snapchat.
I use it, yeah. Yeah, and
There's even that many people on Snapchat?
There's a difference between it's how many people are viewing your story. So it's not 350 million different people. It's like one story, and I'll post like 100 stories. So it's like one story, 2 stories. They'd watch 100.
That's still fucking nuts.
100 views in one sitting if they watch my whole story.
And so Snapchat, they put ads in between the stories. I heard the CPM there's fucking crazy.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. It's the only platform that actually pays the creators.
So are you doing like 7 digits plus from Snapchat?
I'm making good money.
And does Brad the Bull take a cut of that?
Brad is the one that got me on that program.
There you go. He fucking. So there you go. He actually did.
It's so funny because
Can Brad get me on that?
He actually probably could.
Hey, tell Brad he can take a cut of my pie any day.
Hey,
my wife
Brad,
is off the table though.
Brad, you hearing this? No, he.
Brad, your boy just got you a new customer.
He grew up with the owner of Snapchat. How crazy!
No way.
So he was like, "Hey, can I get my client?"
He's got it.
What a guy! You tell Brad give me a call.
Good luck.
I will. If you want to be on the program, I'm sure Brad can get you on the program.
1,000%. I've been trying to. I've had like companies reach out. They're like, "Hey, we think your podcast would do really good on Snapchat. We're gonna try."
Well, you're thinking of a Snap show, but even stories are monetized.
Dude, what is going on over there?
Yeah, spotlights. There's the stories, and then there's the shows. I just started a show.
Oh, you did a show. Yeah. Is that in collaboration with Snapchat?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's I think the show is called $1 Million Listing. It's on TV. It's with the
I know that show. You
brothers.
You during a realtor show?
I'm touring houses on my Snapchat show.
Okay, interesting.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I know that one.
Guess who got me to connect with the Altman brothers?
That had to be your boy Brad.
Brad, the real estate guy.
Hold on, Brad seems like he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Brad is a G.
I gotta say, as far as managers go, maybe this could work out great. Maybe Brad can be my manager, and maybe Cav. Well, let's see. Can me and Cav ever be friends? What do you guys think? Probably not.
I genuinely think if you guys had a conversation offline, and then planned something to come online on this podcast,
you
guys would have a good conversation.
Yeah.
It's just that your fans definitely don't like Kavanaugh.
Well, they're not the only ones.
Yeah, you and your fans, whatever you say, your fans will do.
That's not true.
Your fans are just like you. I see the tweets; they're hilarious.
My fans, they act on their own accord. Any ideas they get from me, there's no ideas from me. Right?
But you can definitely influence them.
Never. I would never do that. I want to ask you about your mushroom trip because I know whatever. It's like silly, but I've done a lot of drugs and psychedelics. I think it's a really important coming of age thing for people.
If I were to try to explain my mushroom trip, I literally you know how psychedelics work. It's like so hard to explain when you're sober, the exact moment, and try to put into words what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
But basically what I saw, if I were to try to put it into words, I saw myself. I saw like this weird figure around me that was persuading me to do things that wasn't me. It was really weird.
About?
Like I was acting a persona and I saw it like I was looking at myself and it wasn't me.
And how did you interpret that?
I saw it as something was persuading me not to reach my full potential.
Apparently that's called ego death. That's like when you're really blasted.
Oh, I took probably like 10 grams of mushrooms.
How much is a quarter? That's how much I took when I did it. Or
that's
an eighth.
3.5 grams.
They do, or a quarter is 3.5. And you took how much?
10.
Bro, that's pretty heavy duty. Is that a lot, Dan? I'm not sure.
10 what?
10 grams.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Well, because a gram is an eighth is.
You'll start seeing stuff on 3.5.
No, I was blasted, dude. I don't remember how much I took, but I was fucked. I think it was a quarter.
I did it. I mainly even did it just because my friend who doesn't even smoke weed, but he was so drunk and someone gave him mushrooms. So I was like, dude, how many mushrooms did you just take? He goes, just this cup full. And I was like, bro, you're about to trip. And I saw in his face, like he's like, what? I'm like, all right, dude, I gotta guide you, man. So I grabbed like a bunch and I just started taking
I'm not
them.
gonna do much guiding.
Oh no, I didn't guide anything. I actually think I made it worse.
So I smoked crack once, by the way.
What?
Yeah, just once. So you're in this ego death. You're seeing like a version of yourself, and I think that probably made a lot of sense to you. So what is it that? How did you interpret that?
I think the overall message was my brain basically saying stop acting this way. This is not who you are. People will like you for you. Show your true self.
And what kind of behavior is that in reference to?
So I was basically doing, like, on my come up, I was trying to do anything that got views. I was doing the most fucked up shit just to get attention, and that's all I wanted. I didn't see hate. I didn't see love. I saw views.
I mean, that's easier to say when you already have a fan base.
Talking about me, and I loved it.
Just the attention aspect.
Yeah, I mean,
I love
your
it.
fans
You
do
get-
like
you
you
get
for who
hate
you are,
comments
but
and
let's
you
say
were
you don't
happy.
have
I
a
was
fan
saying, I
base,
was
you can't just
dying
be
laughing.
yourself.
I was thinking it was the funniest thing.
You,
But then I
if you
didn't
don't-
realize, looking at it from an
like,
outside
most
perspective,
people
how much of
won't
a
give
little
you the
douchebag
time
I looked like.
Do you think that has part of maybe to do with
They
the
just won't
fact
give you the
that
time.
you grew up without a dad, like attention-seeking behavior?
You gotta capture people's
Yeah, and then
attention.
some
like,
girls
the
will say
first
it's because of
15
my zodiac
seconds, and if
sign.
you can't do that, then
What's your zodiac sign?
they
I'm a
just
Leo.
tune
I
out.
don't know what that
It
means.
doesn't even matter if they would have liked you or not.
I don't actually know any.
What's
And
it?
on top of that, like most
A
people
Leo is like
already
an attention
have
seeker.
like
Do you
a
believe in all
handful of
that?
people that they follow, and then like that's that. Like they don't even look outside of that.
Yeah, but have you done therapy and stuff to work out issues? Have you explored that? You know,
Fucking internet
how long
nerds
did you? Are you still doing it? Did you do it
savage.
for a while?
They don't give a
I
shit.
did, I think like 7-8 sessions.
Not a lot.
I thought it was so stupid.
You didn't like it.
I hated it.
Was it a?
Not saying it doesn't work for some people, because I can see how that works for some people, but I just don't like talking to somebody about my problems when I can fix everything myself.
Yeah, dude, that's not you. That's really. It sounds like you need therapy. You say it like that. You're like, bro, I can fix everything myself.
See, that's what I'm saying though. Like I can't.
You
I can't
need
even,
therapy badly, bro.
I can't even put it into words. Like I'm just like I
You
don't
think you can
think
fix
somebody.
all your own problems?
I think so. I think everything just all is rooted from my problems. So it's like that's my duty to fix my problems.
Yeah, but sometimes the problems within us require. It's not
You
weak
need
to
an
ask
outside
people for
opinion.
help.
You
Sometimes
can't
we need
just
help.
like be like, "Oh, I'm right," and I know exactly
appreciate
what's wrong
advice.
with me. At
I
all
appreciate
times,
advice,
always.
but I think it was my therapist,
It's very
just the way that
humorous
they
of
were
them.
speaking to me like I was like a little kid.
Were they good? How'd you find them?
But you are a little
I
kid.
was assigned to them.
Oh, Goodwill Hunting style.
Yeah, no. I was,
Wait. Why were you assigned to them?
because someone said that I needed therapy.
Okay, tell me about this. This is interesting.
It was mainly because of the way that I was acting. I have major ADHD. I was like an outcast in high school. I would like move around. I wasn't acting like everyone else, and they saw my sudden bursts of energy, and they thought it was unnatural. So they assigned me with a therapist.
So this was like a school issued one.
Yeah.
You must have been a real fucking problem though for them to make you go see a therapist.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even say I was a problem. I was just like, I was impulsive. I was like, I couldn't sit still. I was moving around like I literally just could not sit in a desk, do stuff for hours at a time, and
That was
and
me.
not like
I was like that
do
too.
something.
So did you ever get medicated for the ADHD?
Yeah. They gave me Focalin.
And did that help you?
No.
No.
It made me a zombie.
Okay. So you're not on that?
No.
No.
I'm a zombie now.
Olivia says she's a Leo, and she says she vouches we do need therapy. She says we need therapy.
You think so?
Plus, Leos need
I'm on
lots of
Adderall.
therapy.
Wait, are you a Leo?
I'm not. I'm a Cancer.
I'm
but
a Leo.
I don't know what the fuck. that is.
What day?
July 29th.
Oh, so you made the cut barely.
I'm still a Leo. What are you talking about?
A Leo's a Leo, bro.
A Leo's a Leo's Leo's Leo. And we need therapy.
Apparently, I'm barely a Cancer. I'm like a Cancer by default.
Yeah, no, I'm August 14th, so I'm like prime Leo. You know.
There's never been a problem in your life that you needed somebody else's help to resolve.
Huh?
You've never had a problem. You need
He's still
someone else's
young.
help to resolve.
It's not happened yet.
Never.
I mean, I think like that's just a 23-year-old answer.
Yeah, you sound a little arrogant. It sounds like you haven't been. Well, you've been through a lot of shit, and you do have like. It seems like emotional. You have like I saw a video of you getting in a fight in Las Vegas like a few months ago.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing, right? It's got to be a little.
Oh no, it was terribly embarrassing.
Yeah. So that was after your mushroom trip, right?
I was very intoxicated, as you can tell in the video.
Yeah.
This is my first time even talking about that.
Really? So what happened there? What happened?
I'm still doing that legally, so I don't want to.
Oh shit! You got sued? Did you get sued for that?
No.
What do you mean you're doing it legally?
It's like for charges.
Oh, you got charged for that?
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's actually so annoying.
Well, hold on. You did punch a dude in the face.
Yeah, but like you didn't see the video.
He started it. You think?
No, I can't say it.
That's fine. I don't want to get you, especially I don't want to get you in trouble with the law.
Yeah, it's just like I think it's very annoying that people will provoke people in my space, or like people like that have a status. They'll provoke them to get them to do something outlandish, and then they'll just sue them for acting like a normal human being in a situation.
I never got in a fight like that.
Yeah, well, imagine getting like just bugged and touched and pushed, and your head's getting pushed, your arms getting pushed, and you're telling these people to stop doing something, and they continue to do it, and then when you act upon it like a normal human being, you get sued.
And by acting upon it is what, like hitting them?
So like someone provokes you, they keep touching you, they keep pushing you, and then you punch them, and they like say, "Oh man,
right,
I can't believe you did that. Now I'm gonna take this legal and sue you for money." Like it's so annoying. It's actually.
What did you get charged for?
Battery and assault.
Which in Las Vegas?
I did act that character. And it was very stupid. It was influenced by alcohol, but I'm not blaming it on that. But also I just hate the way people treat certain people.
Right, but it also happened before that where you got in a fight at like a hookah lounge. There was like a crazy scrap, but with what was it? Is that a restaurant or something?
Oh, the restaurant one.
Yeah,
that was in 2020.
So it was a few years ago, but are all your fights being recorded, or are there fights you're having that aren't recorded?
I have a lot of fights that are recorded, but that one, I mean, they sued me.
So, bro, you got some issues. You're being sued. You got problems, bro. You're being charged.
Maybe I just need therapy.
You need lots of therapy.
They already went over that.
So you got charged in Las Vegas criminally.
Not officially.
It's a civil thing?
Yeah, it's right now. Okay. Yeah, like so we're handling all that, and honestly, the guys after were very cool. Like we all talked about it after, and like we shook hands, and it was like.
But he still sued you.
No. The guy in Vegas.
Okay.
We're very cool with that. They were actually very nice guys after, which was surprising to me.
Yeah.
But the restaurant guys. Yeah, like that. I think that situation's out there. So I mean, like it's all in the lawsuit. He basically claimed a bunch of false shit. He put in a lawsuit that you want to talk about defamation. This guy's basically saying that I was calling him racial slurs.
Right. He's
this is okay. Let me just explain this. Actually, J Rod was there.
J Rod. Who's J Rod?
J Rod. Remember the Cinco incident? Yeah.
You can talk into the mic, J Rod. We have a camera and mic there. Who's J Rod?
This is my videographer editor. He's the GOAT, the best videographer editor I've got in the system.
Yeah,
like in the game.
Best videographer in the game, J Rod.
No, editor in the game.
Editor in the game?
I don't even say that.
I feel like I'm only getting slower and slower.
No, there's Hayden, and there's a lot of big editors.
You're definitely top 5.
So what happened?
So basically we were out there. We were going golfing for a YouTube bit.
Yeah.
But we wanted food before and like a few drinks. So we went to this local Mexican restaurant. We were like, hey, let's get some food, let's get some drinks, and then let's go golf. Let's do something like cool for the video. We were in like an outdoor terrace. We were I think we took like what, 2 tequila shots, Jared?
We took like 2 shots at most.
Yeah, like 2 tequila shots, and then we got our food. I paid for it. I'm waiting for it. It's an outdoor terrace, so I hit my vape.
Okay.
And then they come up to me and they say, "Hey, don't vape." And I was like, "Oh yeah, my bad. I put my vape in my pocket."
Okay.
And then they come back like 5 minutes later with my vape in my pocket, and everybody just chilling, talking, and we're like laughing, just having a good time. They say, "Hey, if you vape again, by the way, we're gonna kick you out." And I was like, this is 5 minutes later, and I was like, no one vaped that time. What are you talking about?
They must have thought they saw you vape.
Yeah, but I was like, no one vaped. Look, my vape's in my pocket.
Did he hit the vape, J-Rod?
Oh, no.
You heard it here from J-Rod. And you wouldn't lie about it, would you?
No.
Never.
It's vaping. It's not a big deal. But
it's like, it was not that big of a deal. So then I give them my card to pay. And the guy starts saying like, "Hey, we saw you vape again." And nobody vaped. Okay. Like I would be completely honest with you guys. If I was in the wrong here, no one vaped.
Okay.
And they ran over. It was like
they ran over
from a sitcom.
They're yelling in my face, like getting very, very aggressive in my face.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Rory, who was with us, jumps in front of me, and they start arguing. The guy like then pushes Rory, and I was like, "Yo, let's like why are we getting physical? Let's like just talk like normal adults." And then he ended up tackling my friend to the ground, the manager of this restaurant, tackling my friend to the ground. So then I jumped on top of him, and I put him in a chokehold.
Dude, that's fucking crazy, dude.
And I put him in a chokehold, and then...
that's a lot.
And then, like, yeah, just, you see the video. Like, the video starts when I put him in a chokehold. And then that's, like, when all the craziness happens. And then we go away, but I didn't have my card yet. Like they took my card and they refused to give it back to me.
That was after the fight.
So then I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll just leave my card. But then 7 months, 8 months, maybe even a year later, this guy sends a lawsuit basically saying that I said racial slurs to him. That I was being...
J-Rod, did you hear racial slurs?
I did not hear racial.
He did not hear racial slurs, J-Rod.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. This is in 2020. Prime, every camera's on me.
I believe you went like that, yeah.
In a public setting.
But he also...
It's just so, it was crazy that he would even say that, and then people are running with it. People genuinely think that I was being racist towards Hispanics.
But it was mostly he said that you like injured him. It's like a lot of stuff he put in there.
Yeah, he also kicked me in my nuts, but you don't see me crying about it and frickin' putting it in
your tiny little
my little
tight
steroid
little sack. It probably hurts more when you have steroids.
Yeah, those were tight. You kicked me right in my balls.
Like a perfect little bullseye.
That almost came back up out of my throat.
Right.
It actually is right here. That's what this thing is.
Right. It hasn't gone back down yet.
My ball.
And so you're being sued by this guy. You're being sued. Are you afraid though, in a way, like you're successful? You have a lot to lose now. You know, you got a good income. You got a lot going on. You got good powerful friends. You're gonna. What if something like really bad happens in these confrontations? You know what I mean? Like you got to be afraid that something worse can happen. Somebody gets hurt accidentally, you're in jail.
Yeah. It genuinely just never happens. It does. It's like once in a blue moon, and I now go out every single time when I go to a setting where there's alcohol. I bring a security guard, which I hate doing that. I don't like to be that guy that has to bring a security guard. But I now go out every single time to make sure that every situation is de-escalated. By just paying this guy to make sure it doesn't get to that point.
Is that right, J-Rod?
He hasn't came out with me in a while.
It's been a while since we go out, but
yeah.
You don't bring J-Rod out?
I haven't went out in LA in a long time.
You've had a break from partying, like
you guys drink together ever though, J-Rod?
Hey, we're having a sip of blackout right now, isn't that right, J-Rod? Do you have yours over there?
It's not open because I was saving it for one of the crew members. But
J-Rod, can I ask you a question? What does your mom call you?
Jonathan.
It's so weird when someone calls him Jonathan.
But everyone else calls you J-Rod.
Here in LA,
Jonathan Rodriguez.
But at home,
okay, that's dope. Jonathan Rodriguez, J-Rod, I like that.
It's like A-Rod ripoff.
Yeah. But it'd be so weird if I was like, yo, Jonathan, come over here.
I just wouldn't answer you. Yeah.
Well, you are like apparently the A-Rod of editing. Is that right?
I don't say that. I don't know why he's saying that, but
Nah, he
He
knows.
says it about you, A-Rod. Don't be humble.
He's being humble, and that's what
Be
makes him
humble.
one of the best.
thank you. I'm gonna have some blackout now because you said that.
Yeah, can you take a little sip of that blackout? Tell me how it tastes.
So I was here when he was making it, kinda. So.
But you actually did come to the first factory where we were producing blackout.
That's good.
Thanks, man.
It's better than White Clouds. A little sweeter.
He's never tried it before?
He didn't try the new. This is like the
different
final
new
product.
flavor.
This is the final product.
J-Rod, my boy. Let's get lit
He
tonight,
flips saying
J-Rod.
W-Rod.
I just want to be friends with him with a name like that.
Yeah, no, maybe all of
What
us
you doing
after
later,
this,
bro?
we'll go to a little bar. Like just
Yeah.
a little local bar.
Let's go to the local Mexican restaurant. We'll see what happens.
J-Rod, let me get your number after this, brother. J-Rod, let's fucking
Skills
go.
test. All right.
J-Rod. Hey, tell me this.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
You say you don't need therapy, you say you don't need help, but I personally see from this vantage point someone who has a lot of opportunity, someone who has a lot of success. And I don't want you to ruin it, because I do see someone that, you know, has trouble, rightfully so, right? I mean, and you've been in fights recently, and I just hate to see that. I don't want to see you like waste a good opportunity. But you don't think you need help?
I mean, I am taking like anger classes.
Oh, that's good. That's
but
really good.
I don't think therapy is
Well,
like
that is kind of therapy, isn't it?
Is that?
I think so.
Then I guess yes, I am in
Well,
therapy.
like, what are the anger classes like?
So it's so funny.
Feels silly.
It is. It's like, all right, if somebody does this, how do you react? And they give you like 10 seconds. They're like, count to 10 in your head, and if it doesn't seem like a good decision, you don't do it, correct? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's.
That doesn't seem like real world training, like applicable.
Isn't it crazy?
They need
It's
to
like
piss you off for real.
someone's like yelling in your face. Hold up, 1 second.
Let me consider my options. Yeah. Although it's better than.
You know what? I'm gonna walk away now.
Well, have you applied that?
You know what's crazy? So yeah, there's like clips of me getting in fights, but you'll never see the clips that go viral of me not engaging.
Right.
You'll never
those
see.
are interesting.
Yeah. No, there's like Jared, were you there when that girl just threw water in my face in that casino?
No.
Okay.
That's
right there.
fucked up. I saw a video of someone just snagging your hat for no reason, like being a total dick.
Yeah. But no, I was at a casino and there were these two people recognized me. They were like, "Hey, can we take a picture?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Girl has a thing of water, throws it in my face.
That's crazy.
Throws it in my face, and I just sit there. And I'm just like, that was really funny. And then they walk away, and I'm just like, how come that couldn't go viral? Where I'm actually like calm.
That's so fucked up. Why would she do that?
Because I was a hated guy on the internet, and she thought it was funny.
Well, you can't deck a girl even.
Oh no,
that wasn't an option, probably.
I mean, no, I wasn't gonna deck her.
Like yelling at her.
Like yelling at her.
Did you feel angry and then you kind of got through it?
Obviously, I was angry.
Yeah.
Just water thrown in my face. I was like all wet.
How often are you doing the anger classes?
I have to do them once a week.
You're being forced to do anger management classes.
Well, I like need them. So
I'm doing court ordered.
I'm doing them once a week for the court. Yeah.
This is part of what happened in Vegas?
Yeah.
And how long do you have to do that?
I think I have another like a month or two.
That's interesting. So it seems like it's actually doing something for you.
Yeah.
Do you do it with other people?
I've done them before. I've done anger.
Your ass has been in anger management.
Yeah, in high school.
Are you in other people in the class with you? In the anger management classes, the other people with you?
No, it's just a one-on-one session.
Yeah, that'd be embarrassing. Is that?
Can't imagine.
I don't know, because when the court orders you, I imagine there's like it's like an AA meeting or something.
It's like, what are you in for? I just punched a hole in my wall.
Freaking pissed. J-Rod, you get angry?
I'm so angry.
Jared's probably one of the
like an angry guy.
Jared's probably one of the nicest guys like ever.
Yeah, you seem like
I don't get angry. I don't know what it is. I've never been angry. I've never gotten in a fight.
That's
angry.
I'm angry. That's Kevin. Huh? I don't remember what was the context of that one. Drive Angry.
It was a movie.
Oh, Drive Angry. Do you ever still feel like you're bullied? Do you ever still feel like insecure in that way when people come up and throw drinks in your face and grab your hat? You give you like flashbacks?
Yeah, and that's why I react the way that I do sometimes, and it's very stupid as a 23-year-old man that I react like that, but...
So it makes sense. That's why therapy is important. These are deep issues. You know, you'd be surprised how deep they go if you find a good therapist.
Recently, I mean, besides that, like, Vegas incident, it's been very great. Like, I have not gotten angry.
Can you move a little bit to the center of the frame?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, just scoot forward a little touch there. Nice. Yeah. But that's gotta feel, I feel like, you know, do you ever, like, question people, like, are you really my friend? Because you've been bullied. You don't have, like, growing up with strong relationships. It's got to have some strain on your relationships these days.
Yeah, I have a very small group of friends, but, like, yeah, they're my boys. I can tell. They've de-escalated situations for me.
And what about romantic relationships? Do you find that you're able to keep... I mean, you had actually a famously pretty long relationship with Addison.
Oh my goodness. There's still
That's
more.
Yeah.
Pretty committed.
For a young kid.
Yeah.
I haven't had one since.
All right.
Have you tried, or have you just kind of been doing whatever?
Yeah, I haven't really
20
tried.
minutes.
But I feel like when I try, I don't find anything. Like when I just kind of let it float, it happens.
I see. Okay.
Anyways.
Let's talk. I want to ask you about FouseyTube.